Chapter 480. D City was famous for its seafood. Lan Qing invited Shi Shang for a seafood meal. As Shi Shang was a public figure, he chose to eat in the private room. The two of them were bickering while eating seafood. They did not care about their image at all. They were just like ordinary siblings. "Princess, sometimes I really regret it." Lan Qing sighed as he leaned back on the chair. Shi Shang was still fighting with the crab. He asked him vaguely, "What do you regret?" "I regret letting you enter this industry." Lan Qing looked at the bustling lights outside the window. "Look, we have to sneak out to have a meal. You always stay at home during the holidays. You told me that you don't want to go out, but I know that you are just afraid of the paparazzi outside." "I really regret it." Lan Qing said these 4 words with a heavy heart. Shi Shang wiped his hands. "Brother, do you like your current career?" Lan Qing turned to look at him. His eyes were still filled with the prosperity outside. "I don't have a choice." Lan Qing shook his head slowly. He did not like it. But if he did not do it, would he let Lan Qing do it? "But I have a choice. But I have to pay a price for it. Brother, this is the rule." Lan Qing gave up what he liked for the company because he wanted to protect his broken home. Lan Qing loved acting, so she had to give up her freedom. The world was not fair, but it was fair. Nothing was absolute. Lan Qing could not see the girl sitting opposite him clearly. After a while, he laughed. "I will work hard." His gaze was firm and he seemed to be more confident than before. He wanted to build a kingdom for his princess. "Come on." Shi Shang continued to fight with the crab. "Earn $1 billion first." Pfft. Lan Qing spat out a mouthful of water. He patted his chest. "Princess, you are too unambitious. Do you know how much your brother is worth now?" Shi Shang was puzzled. "How much?" Lan Qing drank his water calmly. "Not $1 billion yet." Shi Shang. "Then why did you say it?" "Don't worry, I will have it soon. Earning $1 billion is not difficult for me." "Very good, very CEO." Shi Shang was sent back to the hotel by Lan Qing. He was worried about her and sent her to the door. Who knew she would meet Wen Chao again? Female lead Darren. "You're really haunting me like a ghost." "I don't think I've offended you." "Well, you go back first." "I have something to talk to her about," Shi Shang said. Once Wen Chao opened her mouth, Lan Qing would know that she was injured. Being yelled at by Chan Yuan was already miserable enough. "I don't want to be nagged by this crazy siscon." Lan Qing looked at Wen Chao and nodded. "Rest early." Shi Shang gave him an okay sign. Before the elevator moved, Lan Qing pressed the button and it opened. After Lan Qing took the elevator down, Shi Shang walked straight to his room without looking at Wen Chao. "Miss Lan." Wen Chao said, "I'm sorry for what happened that day." "Okay." Shi Shang swiped his card and pushed the door open. "Miss Lan, you have forgiven me." Wen Chao's eyes lit up. Shi Shang turned to look at her and said with a faint smile, "You're thinking too much. You're so naive." Wen Chao's face turned pale. "Do you know what would have happened to me if I didn't have that steel pipe? The steel pipe would have gone through my head, and I would have died on the spot." Wen Chao's face turned even paler. Shi Shang remained calm and waited for Wen Chao's face to turn as white as paper. Then he said slowly, "It's just a bite. Your reaction should be to step back instead of pulling me." "Miss Wen, what are you thinking?" "Don't try to guess the female lead's thoughts. You won't be able to guess anyway." "What does Miss Lan want?" Wen Chao bit her lips as if Shi Shang was bullying her. Shi Shang held the door and looked distressed. "I haven't thought about it yet." This was a society ruled by law. She couldn't just use a sword and beat him up to vent her anger. She really hadn't thought about it yet. Wen Chao was speechless. Shi Shang closed the door in Wen Chao's face. After a while, the crew finally got back to work. After waiting for a heavy rain, Shi Shang continued with her last scene. All the previous shots could be used. All they needed to do was reshoot the scene of the 3 of them, and then the scene of Shi Shang fighting one-on-one and getting killed would be good enough. During the scene, Wen Chao was a little out of it and shouted several NGs. In such a heavy rain, Shishang was a little hot. F***CK. She threw away the steel pipe in her hand and looked at the sky with her hands on her waist. Zhang Baiyu was also tortured to the point that his face turned ugly. Wen Chao was in a difficult position. She couldn't keep up with Shishang's rhythm. Shishang was in control of the scene. Shishang wiped his face and shouted to Director Zhong, "Shoot my scene first." Director Zhong made an OK gesture and asked the crew to set up the scene. The lights and cameras were in place. Shishang carried the steel pipe and surrounded by people. This scene was shot 5 times. One of the times, Shishang moved too much and the camera couldn't capture the scene. The other times, it was the extras who had problems. After the last scene, Xiao Fu and Xiao Bao, who were waiting at the side, rushed into the rain and brought Shishang back to the tent. In the cubicle, Shishang changed into dry clothes and walked out while drying his hair. The atmosphere was a little tense. Everyone was staring at Director Zhong. Wen Chao stood in front of Director Zhong. Director Zhong probably just lost his temper because there was still anger on his face. "Sister Lon, drink some water." Xiao Bao passed the hot water to Shishang. "What's wrong?" Shishang sat on the chair and pointed his chin at Director Zhong. Director Zhong was explaining the scene to Wen Chao just now. I don't know what she said, but Director Zhong just got angry. Xiao Fu stood beside her with a towel. I don't know how she got the female lead role. This role was originally given to Sister Lon. In the end, Wen Chao was taken away by her manager. Director Zhong drank a few mouthfuls of water before walking to Shishang. "Xiao Shang, you'll have to work hard later. We still have to shoot for a while." "What's wrong with her?" Shishang went straight to the point. Director Zhong heaved a sigh of relief. She said she can't keep up with your pace. "She wants me and you too. She wants me to take care of her? I can't help it. Xiao Shang, you. It's a problem if she can't act. Why should I take care of her? I'm just doing my job. Taking care of a newbie is not within my scope of consideration. It's out of kindness for a senior to take care of you. Not taking care of you is out of duty. If you can't keep up with the acting, you can't blame others." Director Zhong was speechless. He opened his mouth and said, "Xiao Shang, how many years have you been in the industry? She's just a young girl who just entered the industry. Why bother with her?" Shishang looked at Director Zhong with a faint smile. This young girl was someone who almost killed her. Since she can't keep up, then let her faint. You guys can reshoot the scenes in front. When I met them, she was already unconscious. Is that okay? Shishang suggested. Wen Chao didn't have any lines there anyway. Director Zhong called AI Wei Si and finally agreed with Shishang's suggestion. Chapter 481. What? Wen Chao's face darkened after hearing the news. Although she didn't have any lines, her facial expressions were still important. What she did was equivalent to deleting her scene. Fong Liang's face was solemn. "She didn't accept your apology. She won't let it go so easily." Wen Chao was silent for a while. "I'll call Avis." "It's no use." The director must have asked him before agreeing. Since he agreed, he won't change it easily. Fong Liang shook his head. "Wen Chao, you've been a little impetuous recently." Wen Chao held her phone and pursed her lips. Fong Liang patted her shoulder. "Taking on such a big role for your first time, there must be pressure." Fong Liang comforted Wen Chao and the scene was finally settled. Without Wen Chao dragging them down, the filming progress picked up instantly. After filming, Director Zhong gave Shishang a red packet. Every actor who died in the drama would get a red packet for good luck. Shishang squeezed it. It was quite a lot. "Miss Lon, I have another drama coming up. Are you interested?" "Not interested." Shishang shook his head. "But if there's such a role, you can look for me." Shishang gave him a, "you know what I mean," look. Such a role. Director Zhong was silent. His drama didn't have such a role. She was about to change it to the main character. Shang left the set the next day. When she returned, Shang refused to go back to the company. Chan Yuan must be waiting for her there. She wouldn't go. After sending the 4 assistants away, Shang drove home alone. She parked the car in the basement, got out and walked towards the elevator. After a few steps, she turned back. Her gaze fell on a parking space beside her. It was an off-road car. The one she drove to pick up Lon Ching. But, who could tell her why her car was graffiti? What the hell was it? How bad was this person's artistic talent? Well, the license plate was even pried open. Shang walked around the car. Other than the graffiti, the license plate was pried open, and the tires were deflated. There was nothing else. Nothing. Shang's mind was filled with 10,000 fuck your mother's curses. Which idiot dared to touch I's car when I wasn't around? The Shang called the property management. The property management had long discovered that the car had been damaged, but they couldn't contact the owner, so they didn't dare to touch it. Shang remembered that the original owner had left a landline at the property management. She hadn't even gone home, so how could she receive a call? The property management staff told her that the crime was committed on July 23 at around 3 a.m. The culprit had covered the camera, so no one could see anyone at all. Since the owner was not around, they did not dare to call the police. July 23, just a few days after she went to D-City. You're even on the lookout. Get me the surveillance footage of all the intersections. Shang sat in the property management office and ordered the property manager opposite him. What's with the I said, get me all the surveillance footage of all the intersections. It's not as if he can fly out from the sky. The owner is paying you guys to serve him. Are you guys useless? Shang was furious now. The property manager naturally knew who the person sitting in front of him was. He didn't dare to say anything after being yelled at. He called someone to pull up the surveillance footage. However, in his heart he was cursing her. She looked like a fair, rich, and beautiful woman on TV, but why was her temper so bad in reality? Sure enough, celebrities were two-faced people. Then, the property manager saw the bad-tempered movie queen using a skill that he couldn't understand at all to separate a few videos. The movie queen actually had such an awesome skill. You really can't judge a book by its cover. Shang pointed at a figure that appeared in several videos and asked the property manager, "Who is he?" The property manager looked over and recognized him at a glance. Not because of anything else, but because of his weird dressing, which made him look like a gangster. In this apartment where a bunch of elites and successful people gathered, he was very eye-catching. It was hard for the property manager not to remember him. It's Gu Qi, the owner of Building 606. The property manager certainly didn't dare to say that he was a gangster. After all, the owners who could live here were basically rich. How could a gangster afford to live in such a high-end apartment? Of course, he could also be a gigolo who was kept by a rich woman. But no matter what, he, as a property manager, couldn't afford to offend him. 606. The property manager nodded and broke out in cold sweat. Why did he feel that the movie queen's gaze was so scary? Shang grabbed her bag and stood up, walking outside. Movie queen, should we call the police? The property manager followed behind Shang. No, I'll settle it with him privately. Shang's expression had returned to normal, as if she wasn't the one who was angry in the office just now. The property manager was speechless. She was indeed an actress. She changed her expression so quickly. Settling it privately is good. Settling it privately is none of my business. Shang raised her head and looked at the door number. Great. 606. Just when Shang was about to draw her sword, the system suddenly popped out. Hidden task. Outstanding person. Shang's hand paused. Why did it pop out so quickly this time? Target. Gu Qi helped Gu Qi rebuild his image and become a qualified and successful person. What the hell? What the hell is rebuilding his image? Your task is getting more and more careless. Feng Ci, your treatment is getting worse and worse." Just when she was hesitating whether to draw her sword or not, the door was suddenly opened and a rough voice floated out from inside. "This guy is very stubborn, but he still has some backbone. TSK, TSK. Unfortunately, he provoked our brother Feng." The person who opened the door was a young man with dyed blonde hair. His face was full of acne and he smelled of sweat. Seeing a beautiful girl standing outside the door, his eyes were fixed on her. After taking a closer look, his eyes began to sparkle. Are you Lan Sheng? Ma Zi, who are you talking to? I asked you to go out and buy something, why are you dawdling?" The rough voice floated out again. Shi Shang was a bit disillusioned. This situation is a bit wrong. Gu Qi can't be a hunk, right? I'm a good-looking person, if you're too ugly, I won't recognize you. No. Looking at the surveillance camera, he doesn't look like a hunk. Alright, even if he's ugly, as long as he's Feng Ci, I still have to recognize him. It's all fate. Sigh. The young man ignored the voice inside. He was so excited that he didn't know what to do. He pulled the blonde hair on his head and tried to tidy up his image. "Goddess Lan Shang, why are you here?" He actually saw his goddess. "Oh my god, I'm so happy. I want to take a picture together. I'm looking for someone." Shi Shang frowned. "Is Gu Qi here?" "Gu Qi?" The young man's hand that was holding the phone paused. He looked inside, then looked at Shi Shang. Finally, he screamed with a sad face, "Brother Tian, Goddess Lan Shang is looking for Gu Qi, the gigolo." "Why is Gu Qi, the gigolo, so likable?" "Ah. Even the goddess is looking for him." The young man grabbed his hair like a madman. Shi Shang was speechless. This kid is crazy. Chapter 482. What Prince Charming or Goddess, I want you to go shopping. A rough voice came from afar. A tall and strong figure came out from inside and kicked the young man's butt. The young man lost his balance and fell towards Shi Shang. "Ah, I'm going to have intimate contact with my goddess." The young man pouted and opened his hands, looking intoxicated. Shi Shang was speechless and kicked him. The young man fell to the side and hit the wall. "Yo, where did this woman come from?" Shi Shang looked at the person who spoke. It was a tall man with smooth skin, tattoos all over his arms, thick eyebrows, big eyes, and a square face. He looked quite fierce. "Is Gu Qi here?" Shi Shang ignored his malicious gaze. "Looking for Gu Qi? He's here, come in." The man pointed inside and smiled maliciously. The young man with yellow hair was still climbing on the wall. Once he heard the man asking Shi Shang to go in, he immediately got up. "Brother Tian, this is—" The man glared at him fiercely and the young man with yellow hair was instantly silenced. Shi Shang stepped into the house. It was messy inside, as if someone had ransacked it. From these things, it could be seen that the owner was very rich. "Go out and find a place to stay. Don't come back unless I call for you. Do you hear me?" Brother Tian pressed the young man's head and threatened him fiercely. The young man with yellow hair opened his mouth, only to see a graceful figure disappearing around the corner. He wanted to remind Brother Tian that this was the movie queen Lan Shang. They could not afford to offend her, but Brother Tian had already closed the door. The layout of the house was similar to hers. The living room was in a European style, but it was also in a mess. In the midst of the mess, a boy was tied to a chair. He was wearing a black hoodie with a skull pattern on it. He was also wearing black pants, and his feet were bare. The boy tilted his head and looked down. He had earrings on his ears which reflected the light. It was a very decadent and beautiful scene. "Gu Qi, look, there's a girl looking for you." Brother Tian came in from the back and kept looking at Shi Shang. "Look at this body," he says. "You're so lucky. You're lucky today." Hearing Brother Tian's voice, the boy slowly turned his head and looked over. Shi Shang thought he could hear the sound of his neck cracking. A beautiful color appeared in front of Gu Qi. Of course, he knew the person in front of him, Lan Shang. The youngest best actress. Not long ago, he had even graffitied her car. "Don't touch her." His voice was a little hoarse, probably because he hadn't drunk water for a long time. "Don't touch her? Ha ha ha, Gucci, who do you think you are? This chick came to me on her own accord and you're telling me not to touch her?" Brother Tian seemed to have heard a funny joke. "Today, I will do her in front of you." Brother Tian took a few steps closer to the Shang. "You're quite calm, little girl. Did you see that? Your little lover is in this state because he touched a woman he shouldn't have. Today, I will let him have a taste of what it feels like to have his woman taken in front of him." Brother Tian stretched his hand toward the Shang. Gucci's voice suddenly became louder with a hint of madness. "Don't touch her." Brother Tian seemed to have been stimulated and became even more excited. His hands reached out to hug the Shang. Swoosh! Brother Tian's body stopped abruptly. Brother Tian's frightened face was reflected on the cold iron sword. A sword that appeared out of nowhere. Is this woman a human or a ghost? The iron sword was pointed at Brother Tian's chest by the Shang. "You want to be rough with me? You want to have sex with me? It's been a long time since I met someone with such guts." The Shang kicked his crotch. "Ah!" Brother Tian covered his crotch and groaned. He arched his body with a painful expression. The iron sword was held by the Shang. F***CKU, you still want to have sex with me? Do you still want to have sex with me? Do you still want to have sex with me? I don't dare anymore, please spare my life, I don't dare anymore. Ah! Brother Tian had no ability to resist the kick and could only roll on the ground. F***CKU. The Shang kicked him a few more times and tied him up with a rope similar to the one on Gucci. Phew. The Shang blew her bangs and took a deep breath. She walked to Gucci and bent down to untie him. Gucci lowered his head from the beginning to the end. "Gucci," the Shang called out to him. He raised his head slowly, the only color in his eyes was her. He tilted his head and his neck cracked along with his movements. So it wasn't her hallucination just now. The Shang sat on the coffee table and stared at him for a few seconds. There was no spiritual energy in this world. She didn't know how to confirm it. Although according to the system's routine, there was basically no need to confirm, but she was still a little worried. What if the system didn't follow the routine this time? After all, he was a retard. Before she was sure, the Shang decided to settle the score first. "What's wrong with you? You damaged my car and pried my license plate." The Shang waited for about a minute before she heard Gucci's voice. "Nothing." Gucci's voice was still so hoarse and unpleasant, torturing the ears. He stared at the Shang intently, as if he wanted to see a pile of money from her. The two looked at each other speechlessly. The Shang threw away the rope in her hand. Even if he was Feng Ci, this retard should suffer a little. But it was okay to be bullied by her, but if he was bullied by others, he still had to get back at them. The corner of the Shang's eyes swept to the phone on the coffee table. She picked it up and glanced at it. There was a password. The Shang stood up and walked to the front of Brother Tian. Password. Brother Tian didn't say anything. The Shang kicked him. Password. 224562. Brother Tian felt the pain and immediately reported a few numbers. "I already said that you guys are stupid. You can't resist it. Why did you only say it after being beaten? You're crazy." The Shang unlocked the phone quickly. The desktop was very obscene. Big bundled girl, bikini, rippling water. The Shang found a recent call in the call history. The caller ID was Brother Feng and dialed it directly. "Trick him to come here. If he dares to talk nonsense, I'll kill you." The iron sword was pointed at Brother Tian's neck as Shang put the phone on speaker. Although Brother Tian was big and looked intimidating, he was actually a bully who feared the strong and bullied the weak. Previously, he thought that this woman was weak and beautiful, so she must be easy to bully. Who knew that he would kick an iron board? The phone was picked up after a while. There was a gasp from the other side. "Eyes working, why are you calling?" Brother Tian swallowed his saliva. Brother Feng. Gu Qi is convinced. Please come over. Oh, I thought that gigolo could last for a few more days. I didn't expect him to be such a coward. Okay, I'm coming over. The other side hung up the phone directly. The Shang threw the phone aside. Come, tell me what happened. Brother Tian trembled as he recounted what had happened. Gu Qi touched the woman called Brother Feng. Naturally, Brother Feng wanted to teach Gu Qi a lesson. But Gu Qi didn't give in, so today's incident happened. It was as simple as that. Woman. Is she beautiful? Not bad. Is she as beautiful as me? No. Chapter 483. Brother Feng arrived very quickly, and he even brought a woman with him. Shang opened the door for him. Seeing Shang, Brother Feng's eyes almost fell on her body, her chest. Shang turned sideways with a smile on his face. Please come in. Hey, little Tian, where did you get a girl who's prettier than a celebrity? Brother Feng did not suspect anything and walked straight in. Shang closed the door and locked it. I'm a celebrity. What? Shang kicked him. The woman who was hugged by Brother Feng screamed in fear and hid in the bathroom next door. Shang calmly pulled the bathroom door over and shut the noise. Brother Feng was a little stunned by the sudden kick, but he also saw Brother Tian who was tied up by Shang. Shang did not give Brother Feng a chance to get up. He placed the iron sword on his chest. I'm a celebrity, do you hear me? Fuck. You be *tch. Brother Feng reacted and cursed. Do you know who I am? How dare you fight with I? Believe it or not, I will make you suffer. Brother Feng only dared to curse. After all, Shang still had a cold and shiny iron sword in his hand. Hey, you're quite arrogant. Shang stepped on his chest with the iron sword at his throat. Show me how arrogant you are. Brother Feng could feel the cold and piercing temperature. The woman who stepped on him had a delicate face, but her expression was too gloomy. It reminded him of those psychopathic murderers on TV. He could not help but tremble and said incoherently, You? Who are you? I have no grudge against you, what do you want? Shang first beat Brother Feng up, then tied him up and threw him in front of Gu Qi. You can leave when he forgives you. Brother Feng and Brother Tian looked at each other. Where did this gigolo find such a tough girl? Then, what if he doesn't forgive us? Brother Tian asked with a trembling voice. Then we'll chop you up and feed you to the dogs. They usually heard these words from the big shots in the underworld. Now that they suddenly heard such a beautiful woman say it, they didn't feel the slightest bit out of place. Gu Qi maintained his posture. He was not moved at all by the two of them kneeling in front of him and begging for mercy. He moved his finger and pointed at a phone in the distance. Shang glanced at him and handed him the phone. The booting process was slow. The speed at which he swiped the screen was even slower. It took him almost 3 minutes to make a call. He turned on the speakerphone. When the call connected, there was the loud sound of a motorcycle engine mixed with the screams of men and women. Boss. Shoo. Shut the F***ck up. F***ck, stop. The other side quickly quieted down. Boss, where have you been these few days? Come to my house. Gu Qi said these 3 words and hung up the phone. The phone slipped from his hand and fell to the ground. After that, Gu Qi did not say a word. He maintained the same posture until the doorbell rang. A group of young men and women dressed in colorful clothes stood outside. They were all quite good-looking. Although he was dressed like a hooligan, his clothes were obviously expensive. Shang opened the door. The group of people outside was shocked and confused. Isn't this Lan Sheng? Why is she at Boss's house? Boss, what did you do behind our backs? The person in charge, come in. The rest wait outside. Shang said and turned back to the living room. This group of people was like a colorful Mary Sue. They were dazzling. A guy standing in front signaled to the people behind him and followed Shishang in. God. Boss, was your house robbed? Boss. The guy saw the living room and was even more confused. Isn't this Chen Feng? Why is this trash here? Most importantly, the movie queen Lan Shang is here. Gu Qi did not answer for a long time. The guy seemed to be used to his behavior. He went up and kicked Chen Feng. After he finished, Gu Qi raised his head. Get rid of him. That nonchalant tone of his made it seem as if he wasn't the one who had been kidnapped earlier. Okay. The guy responded and shouted outside, 2 people come in. Soon, 2 guys came in. Same rule. The 2 guys looked at Gu Qi and understood something. They dragged the 2 people who were still begging for mercy outside. There's a woman in the bathroom. Get her out too. Shishang reminded. Seeing that Gu Qi did not object, the guy got rid of the woman in the bathroom and asked the 2 girls to clean up the house. The 2 girls glanced at Shishang from time to time. They were probably curious about how Gu Qi knew her. It was just a simple cleaning up and it was done quickly. The guy went outside for a while. When he came back, those people were already gone. Movie queen, can you give me an autograph? The guy became silly instantly. Aw, goddess, you must give me an autograph. Shishang was speechless. This guy did not care about his boss first and asked for her autograph first. Is there something wrong with his brain? The guy's name was Lin Zainan. In his own words, he was Gu Qi's assistant cum protector. Of course, the title of protector was given by him. The assistant also took up the position automatically. Boss's reaction is a bit slow. Goddess, please don't mind. I'll bring boss to change his clothes first. You can sit anywhere you want. After bragging to Shishang, Lin Zainan remembered his boss who was forgotten by him. Lin Zainan helped Gu Qi to treat his injuries and came out after a while. Gu Qi was still wearing the same hoodie, the same model, even the skull was the same. It was impossible to tell that he had changed his clothes. He stared at Shishang for a few seconds and suddenly took out a car key from his pocket. I'll pay for your car. After that, he sat down without saying anything or doing anything else. Shishang was speechless. Is there something wrong with this guy? Flips table. I never met a normal villain. Lin Zainan was used to his boss's behavior. This silly guy immediately forgot about his boss and pulled Shishang to ask, Goddess, how do you know my boss? He damaged my car. I'm looking for him. Shishang answered simply. Boss, what kind of trick is this? Lin Zainan was a bit confused. Why did he damage the goddess car? No, boss only damaged 1 car recently. Goddess, you live here too? Lin Zainan exclaimed exaggeratedly. The goddess actually lives here. Yes. What's wrong with living here? The original owner seemed to like the environment of this apartment. It was very quiet. Lin Zainan was so happy that he was bubbling. His eyes were heart-shaped. Lin Zainan was quite handsome, like a big brother next door. He was sunny and handsome, but his smile was a bit mischievous. Looking at a big guy looking at him with such a gaze, Shishang couldn't help but shiver. He's not even as good as the sick one over there. Lin Zainan twisted his head for a while. His eyeballs were rolling around. He suddenly asked, Goddess, did you deal with those 2 scumbags just now? Shishang raised his eyebrows. Why didn't he say that it was his boss who dealt with them? Lin Zainan scratched his head embarrassedly and pulled Shishang to the side. When my boss fights, he always beats them to death, the kind that makes them unable to stand up. Oh, seems like I didn't hit them hard enough. Shishang concluded. Chapter 484. Shishang and Lin Zainan exchanged phone numbers. Shishang took the car keys that Gu Qi threw on the table and went out. The car ending with 573. Goddess, take care. Drop by when you're free. Lin Zainan sent Shishang to the door. She looked at Gu Qi, who was still motionless, nodded and turned to leave. Ah, my goddess, I'm so happy to be in such close contact with my goddess. Sigh, damn, I forgot to take a picture with my goddess. Lin Zhe Nan was upset. Next time, I must take a picture with my goddess. When Lin Zhe Nan turned around, he realized that Gu Qi, who was sitting on the chair just now, was gone. He looked around and found Gu Qi in the bathroom of the bedroom, standing with his back facing him. Boss. Lin Zhe Nan called. Gu Qi lowered his head and answered after a long time. Do you want to go to the hospital? Lin Zhe Nan stopped being silly and looked at Gu Qi's back worriedly. Gu Qi replied after a long time, No. Then I'll go buy some food for you. You take a rest first. They have a gathering tonight, boss can go there to handle it. After Gu Qi answered again, Lin Zhe Nan took out the key and went out. If he didn't take the key, boss would definitely not open the door for him when he came up later. Shi Shang just went home and took a shower when Chen Yuan rushed over. She probably just came down from a negotiation table, as she was still wearing a very formal work attire. Shi Shang glanced at her cleavage. Sister Chen, your breasts seem to have grown bigger. Breasts? This stupid girl still has the mood to care about my breasts. Lan Sheng. Chen Yuan looked at her seriously. I know you're upset that your role was taken away, but you don't have to go to the crew to cause trouble. Sister Chen, what are you talking about? I just think that role is pretty good. You see, when the broadcast is out, I'll definitely attract a group of young girls. Look at my acting, I'm so handsome. Chen Yuan was speechless. Why is there something wrong with her artist? Lan Shang used to be a dignified goddess, not dirty or narcissistic. She was a little narcissistic, but not so blatantly narcissistic. How long has she been in D-City? How did she change so much? Was she a little too lively? Chen Yuan took a deep breath and scolded Shi Shang for a while before taking out a few scripts from her bag. Take a look at them yourself. These scripts are not bad. I have a meeting later, so I'll come back later. Shi Shang made an OK sign and sent housekeeper Chen Yuan away. Shi Shang threw the script to a corner and went to play games on his phone. Chen Yuan was so busy. After this meeting, there would be another one. After the next meeting, the artist would get into trouble again. By the time Chen Yuan arrived, a few days had already passed. Chen Yuan had the keys to the apartment, so she opened the door and walked in. The moment she entered, she complained, Shenshen, what kind of people are living in your apartment? They're dressed in a mess. I think you should move to Yujing Garden. It's closer to the company. Shi Shang looked up from his phone and said, No. Would it be more convenient for Chen Yuan to check on him if he moved there? Chen Yuan didn't force her. She only reminded her, then be careful. When I came up just now, I saw a few people dressed like hooligans standing below. They don't look like good people. Oh. Have you read the scripts I told you to? Chen Yuan frowned when she saw the scripts thrown casually on the sofa. They looked so new that it didn't seem like anyone had flipped through them before. I just finished filming. Sister Chen, let me take a break. Shi Shang mumbled. He was spinning like a top. These films will only start filming after the new year. Chen Yuan frowned. This is how the industry is. If you're late, you won't have a place. Some of the films had been booked a year in advance. I'll read them later. Shi Shang immediately answered, in case Chen Yuan started nagging. You have a commercial to shoot next Monday. After that, you'll start filming The First Imperial Concubine on September 6th. After that, it will be almost the new year. Shi Shang listened to Chen Yuan's progress. Shi Shang responded half-heartedly as he continued to play games. Chen Yuan was speechless. Her artist was addicted to games. I'll pick you up next Monday. I can go by myself. Sister Chen, you're a busy woman. It's just a commercial. It's not a big deal. He was going to die if he went with Chen Yuan. Although Shi Shang didn't want to go with Chen Yuan still came. The endorsement fee for this commercial was quite high. It was a very luxurious perfume. I'll have to trouble you during the shoot. Miss Lan's aura matches this perfume very well. It's not difficult. Chan Yuan was negotiating with the other side. Shi Shang walked around the cameraman and watched him work on the equipment. The cameraman was a man with a long beard. Seeing Shi Shang walking around, he took the initiative to say, Miss Lan is interested in photography. All cameramen take nude photos, right? I'm curious if you have any reaction when you take nude photos. Shi Shang said with a straight face. The cameraman was speechless. Where did this dirty girl come from? Boss, you've hired the wrong person. Miss Lan is a dignified goddess. Ahem, it's an art. To us, it's just an ordinary object. Shi Shang blinked. It must be because her breasts are small. Ahem, ahem, ahem. The cameraman really choked on his saliva this time. Although what she said was the truth, she shouldn't say such things out loud, okay? Shi Shang's questions were getting more and more tricky. The cameraman felt uncomfortable all over. Unfortunately, the questions were all academic. It was a dirty academic question. Why did you, a movie queen, come here to ask this question? Can you please maintain your identity as a movie queen? Dignified. Elegant. After a while, the cameraman let out a sigh of relief. Shi Shang smiled at the cameraman. Take a good shot of me later. Of course, of course. If I don't take a good shot, do I have to wait for you to come and discuss with you the correct way to shoot? The shoot went smoothly. After the shoot, Shi Shang was sent home by Chen Yuan. Chen Yuan told him not to run around and to stay at home and read the script. Shi Shang called a girl in the crew of Proud Sun and asked her about the shooting progress. The girl told Shi Shang that the shoot in D-City was about to end and she would be back here soon. Wen Chao's performance was getting better and better after she left, but Meng Shiran kept giving her trouble. Shi Shang thanked her and hung up. As soon as she hung up, an unknown number called. Goddess, goddess, are you free? It was a noisy voice in the background. Shi Shang was stunned. It took him a while to recognize the owner of the voice. Yes, what's up? Lin Zainan probably didn't expect Shi Shang to say that she was free. He immediately shushed the others. Goddess, we're at Di Hao Entertainment Club. Do you want to come out and have some fun? Di Hao. Asterisk little fairy. I want tickets now. Cherub. Stop acting cute, no. Little fairy. Acting cute. Cherub. Perfunctory. Chapter 485. The Di Hao Entertainment Club was a high-end place in City A. People who came here were either rich kids or business elites. Shi Shang drove himself and Lin Zainan was waiting for him outside. Shi Shang parked the car, put on his sunglasses, and walked towards Lin Zainan. Lin Zainan's eyes lit up when he saw Shi Shang, but he controlled himself because they were in a public place and his goddess was a public figure. Goddess, you're so nice. Ah, I'm so happy. Lin Zainan couldn't help but jump up and down as soon as he entered a place with fewer people. Shi Shang was speechless. Looking at a 1.8-meter tall man jumping up and down like a retarded child, this experience was really. Their room was 888 yuan. It was very big, but there weren't many people inside. They were dressed normally, unlike last time. Brothers and sisters, look who this is. Lin Zainan's voice immediately attracted the attention of the people in the room. Someone turned off the music and the whole room quieted down. F***CK, young Master Lin, you really managed to get movie Queen Lan to come? Someone cursed. Lin Zainan raised his head proudly. Of course, do I look like I'm joking? I told you that I know your goddess, but you didn't believe me. Now you've been slapped in the face. Remember to give me your car keys. F***CK, Lin Zainan, you bastard. Humph. Lin Zainan turned to Shi Shang and smiled. Goddess, let me introduce you. The bastard who scolded me just now is called Yi Ming. What are you waiting for? Come and propose a toast to our goddess. A group of people came over with wine glasses in their hands. The light wasn't very bright, so Shang couldn't tell what they looked like. There were 4 boys and 2 girls. When introducing the girls, Shang clearly felt that one of the girls, Yi Jingyi, was hostile to him. Brother Zainan, why do you bring all kinds of people here? Yi Jingyi's undisguised disdain made the atmosphere awkward. What kind of people are they? Shang answered with a smile. His tone was so calm that no one could tell whether he was happy or angry. What do you mean? Yi Jingyi, don't mess around. Lin Zainan pulled her aside. Yi Jingyi immediately exploded. How am I messing around? Who is she? Miss Lan is my guest. Lin Zainan's tone also became tough. Guest? Yi Jingyi sneered. You were just making a bet, and you called her over with a phone call. What kind of guest is she? Best actress? Yi Jingyi. How dare an entertainer come here? Just a phone call can move them. Who do you want to climb up to? Yi Jingyi's words were a little impolite. Yi Zi, how can you say that? Yi Zi, calm down. Master Gu is still here. If you disturb him, you'll be in trouble. The people next to Yi Jingyi immediately began to persuade her. Shang said slowly, no matter who I want to climb up the social ladder, I won't climb up to you. I don't like women. Everyone, movie queen, your words really make people. Brother Zainan, look at her. A woman like her has slept with who knows how many men to climb up to the position of best actress. You still think of her as a goddess. She's not as good as you think. Miss Yi seems to be very familiar with the rules of the entertainment industry. It seems that you care a lot about this industry. I don't know which small star Miss Yi has taken a fancy to. Maybe I know and can set you up. What nonsense are you talking about? Yi Jingyi roared. Master Lin, quickly take Yi out to calm down. The people next to Lin Zainan pushed him. Apologize. Lin Zainan's eyes were sharp. I didn't say anything wrong. Why should I apologize? Yi Jingyi glared back at him, unconvinced. Look at what she just said. Yi Zi. There was another round of persuasion, but Yi Jingyi still refused to bow down. Lin Zainan, you're a bastard. Yi Jingyi roared, pushed Shang and ran out of the room. The girls who had been persuading Yi Jingyi also ran out, leaving only the boys in the room. Miss Lan, I'm really sorry. Yi Zi is young and likes Master Lin, so she spoke without thinking. Please don't take it to heart. Lu Yiming apologized to Shang on behalf of Yi Jingyi. I'm sorry, goddess. Lin Zainan also looked apologetic. Please don't be angry. Yi Jingyi is just spoiled. She doesn't have any bad intentions. Shang didn't say anything. Girls like her were everywhere. They came from rich families and were spoiled. Naturally, they were arrogant. As for whether she was spoiled or not, as long as she didn't have any bad intentions, she didn't care. Where's Gu Qi? Shang asked directly. She hadn't seen him since she came in. Lin Zainan just remembered that the reason why the goddess agreed to come was because his boss was here. The scene was even weirder than just now. Lin Zainan pushed the people who were blocking him away. Shang saw the boy sitting on the sofa with his head down playing with a tablet. The quarrel just now didn't affect him at all. Let's continue playing. Lin Zainan gave Lu Yiming a wink. Lu Yiming looked at Shang curiously and said a few polite words to her. Then, she continued playing with the other boys. Gu Qi's side was empty. Lin Zainan brought Shang over. Boss, the goddess is here. Gu Qi was playing a game. Shang glanced at the screen. They were playing the same game. Lin Zainan was in the middle, so Shang couldn't see his ID clearly. Lin Zainan spoke for about 30 seconds before Gu Qi put down the tablet. He raised his head and looked at Lin Zainan. The flashing lights flashed through his dark pupils. The bright colors didn't bring out any liveliness in his eyes. His lips moved. Who is it? His voice wasn't hoarse like the last time. It was a pleasant voice. Shang, damn, is this retard forgetful? Lin Zainan, Lin Zainan lowered his head and whispered in his ear. Gu Qi nodded after a while and took away the tablet beside him. Sit. Lin Zainan smiled and pushed Shishang to Gu Qi's side. Goddess, please be considerate. My boss's reaction is really slow. Sometimes we have to wait for a while. You can't rush when talking to him. Shishang looked at Gu Qi strangely. Gu Qi tilted his head. His face was expressionless. There were only flashing lights in his eyes. Lin Zainan, come here. The person opposite him greeted. Goddess, you guys talk. Lin Zainan winked at Shishang and walked to the opposite side to be interrogated. Why did you paint my car? Shishang was still very curious about this question. What did my car do to offend him? Shishang counted silently in his heart. At 50 seconds, Gu Qi rolled his eyes. It's not pleasing to the eye. Shishang, you win. Mr. Villain. You don't like Ai's car and you paint it just like that. Chapter 486. Shishang felt that there was something wrong with Gu Qi's answer. That car wasn't a limited edition. Although it wasn't common on the streets, it wasn't hard to find. Why did Gu Qi dislike it? And it was different from the way he behaved when Qian Feng wanted to touch her. This guy is weird. Hashtag my man is always changing his style. Hashtag other than his slow reaction, Gu Qi was fine. He would answer whatever you asked, but you had to wait for a while. And he didn't take the initiative to talk. Shishang didn't get much useful information when Lin Zainan was ready to move to another place after the interrogation. The others left the room while Lin Zainan waited for Gu Qi to get up. Gu Qi pulled Shishang, and Shishang looked at him. Let's go together. Lin Zainan looked at Gu Qi in surprise, as if he was shocked by Gu Qi's behavior. Where are we going? Chen Yuan would definitely ground her if she knew that she was still hanging out at this late hour. Gu Qi's neck cracked when he turned. He paused for a while and said, the top of the mountain. Lin Zainan added, we have a competition later. Boss is going too. Gu Qi nodded as if he agreed, then got up and left the room. Shishang was confused. What the hell? This villain. The rich second generation's nightlife was either in bed or looking for excitement. Drag racing was one of them. Shishang received a call from Chen Yuan when he left the club, asking him to go to a dinner party. I have a dinner party. I can't go with you guys. Shishang looked up at Lin Zainan. Let's meet another day. Huh? Lin Zainan was disappointed. Goddess is not going. Gu Qi stood a little further away with his head slightly tilted. He was surrounded by a few guys who were talking to him. Chen Yuan's call came like a rush. Shishang retracted his gaze. Okay, I'll go first. Help me tell Gu Qi. Okay, goddess. Be careful. Lin Zainan waved his hand reluctantly. After Shishang left, Lin Zainan slapped his forehead again and was annoyed. I forgot to take a photo with her again. Gu Qi saw Lin Zainan coming over alone and frowned slightly. Her? The goddess said she had a dinner appointment, so she left first. Lin Zainan scratched his head. Boss, you and the goddess. What's going on? Gu Qi walked to the car beside him, opened the door, got in and closed the door. Lin Zainan shrugged at the others. He knew he didn't know the relationship between boss and the goddess. The others went to drive their own cars while Lin Zainan got into Gu Qi's car as the driver. When she got into the car, she saw Gu Qi sending a text message. She glanced at it subconsciously, but the screen turned off before she could see it clearly. Gu Qi turned his head slowly. Let's go back. Go back. You're not going? Lin Zainan was surprised. She was fine just a moment ago. Why didn't she go after a while? Gu Qi lowered his head and remained silent. Lin Zainan took out his phone and called the person behind him, then drove Gu Qi back. The dinner party that Chen Yuan invited Shishang to attend was not an ordinary one. All the guests were big shots. However, this kind of dinner wasn't very clean. As a movie queen, she could avoid such things. After toasting with the others, she just had to sit down. Other artists were not so lucky. They were forced to drink and take advantage of. Shi Shang looked coldly at those artists who wanted to climb up the social ladder. They were pretending to be nice. Of course, there were also those who refused. Slap. Shi Shang looked up. It was probably a newcomer. She covered her face and sobbed softly. I gave you face, but you don't want it. Who do you think you are? Why are you pretending to be virtuous? An investor sat beside the girl. He was looking at the girl with disdain. These newcomers all had dreams. They thought they could realize their dreams, but they didn't know how dirty this industry was. Those who struggled in this industry would either be trampled into the mud and become lowly, or take advantage of the situation to climb up the social ladder. Or they couldn't accept the rules of this industry. Their dreams would die prematurely and they would regret it for life. There were very few people who could climb to the top with their own abilities. People in the industry said that the original owner relied on her own abilities. In fact, without the Lon family's help, she wouldn't be able to stand in this position. The original owner didn't understand, but Shi Shang was very clear about it. In the end, the girl was dragged away by the investor. Shi Shang shook his head. It would be better for Chan Yuan to reject such events in the future. It was too painful to watch. Miss Lon, I have a play to shoot recently. I wonder if Miss Lon is free? Originally, there was a girl sitting next to Shi Shang. While she was watching the show, a man had taken her place. He was average-looking, but he looked wretched and lecherous from head to toe. Shi Shang glanced at him. Mr. Li, you can contact my agent if you have a script. Miss Lon, this script is next year's big drama. Many people can't get it. Oh, my schedule is full too. Shi Shang stood up and said sarcastically, since Mr. Li's script is so good, keep it for those who need it. He wanted to take advantage of her. Did he think that she was a newcomer? Or did he eat a bear's heart and leopard's guts? Miss Lon. Li Jie reached out and grabbed Shi Shang. His face was dark. Although you have status now, you don't have a background. In this industry, you can't do without a background. Shi Shang felt that he was being held by a pervert. He picked up the drink next to him and splashed it at Li Jie. Lan Sheng. Li Jie was furious. He wiped his face. Believe it or not, I can make it impossible for you to get a script with one word. The commotion caused the entire room to quieten down as everyone turned to look at them. Li Jie was one of the wealthier people in this industry. He had a lot of connections and was not someone to be offended. It was normal for him to say something mean when he took a fancy to a movie queen with no background. Shi Shang took the opportunity to withdraw his hand. He looked at her with disdain. You want to take advantage of me? Go to Korea and get a makeover. Even if she didn't have the support of the Lon Group, she wouldn't be afraid of this pervert. Shi Shang's words were vicious. Li Jie was embarrassed to be despised for his looks in front of so many people. Lan Shang, it wasn't easy for you to climb to this position. Do you want it to be ruined? I'll give you one last chance. Follow me and I'll make you famous. It's night time now. Don't daydream. Shi Shang sneered. There are many people who want to make me famous. Why would I choose someone who looks bad and make things difficult for myself? Mr. Li, don't think that you're so great. In this industry, you're just so. Li Jie was so angry that he wanted to hit Shi Shang. This woman was so shameless. Did she think that she was great just because she was a movie queen? Shi Shang made the first move. He kicked Li Jie in the stomach and his body fell backward. He grabbed the edge of the table and pulled the table full of dishes in his direction. They all fell to the ground with a crash. Li Jie was drenched in soup and water. He was in a sorry state. Chapter 487. No one had expected this turn of events. She dared to hit him. Was she crazy? You. Shi Shang bent down to pick up the wine bottle on the ground. He smiled, but there was no emotion in his eyes. Do you still want to sleep with me? His voice was clear, with a faint smile, but it was creepy. Li Jie panicked. What are you trying to do? I'm teaching you how to behave. Shi Shang raised his hand and slammed the wine bottle down. The sound of the slap made everyone's heart tremble. He really slammed it down? Next time, it won't be as simple as teaching you how to behave. I'll send you to reincarnation. Shi Shang threw the broken wine bottle on the ground. Li Jie was dizzy from the hit. He reached out to touch his numb head. It was warm and sticky. Blood. Li Jie rolled his eyes and fainted. Trash. Shi Shang glanced at the people in the room. Most of them were still in shock from the sudden change. What happened to the gentle and dignified goddess? Where did this violent maniac come from? After Shi Shang left the room, the people in the room went crazy and called 110. Gu Qi stood on the third floor, watching Shi Shang leave the hall. A manager-like woman stood beside him, looking at Gu Qi respectfully and carefully. After a while, he turned to look at the noisy room, clean up the mess. Yes, young master. The woman walked towards the room immediately. Shi Shang thought there would be news of the movie queen beating someone up for her to make the headlines. However, there was nothing. He was beaten into a retard and didn't even know how to publish the news? Chen Yuan probably heard the news from somewhere and came to her house. Shen Shang, what happened last night? Did you beat up Li Jie? Chen Yuan went straight to the point. She left early last night because she had something to do. She was busy the whole night and didn't have time to rest. Then, she heard the news early in the morning. The circle was not small, but it wasn't big either. A small matter like this would spread quickly in the circle. Yeah, I was wondering why there wasn't any news. Sister Chen, did you suppress the news? Chen Yuan was speechless. Had her artist gone crazy? She's still thinking about the news at this time. Who was Li Jie? She would definitely seek revenge for the smallest grievance. There was no way she could suppress this news. Now that there was no report, she didn't know what went wrong. What are you thinking? How dare you hit Li Jie? Chen Yuan felt like he was going crazy. He wanted to sleep with me with a lousy script, and he even threatened me. If I don't hit him, who should I hit? Shi Shang rolled his eyes. Wasn't this kind of person asking for a beating? Chen Yuan took a deep breath. Shenshen, you've been acting weird ever since your role was stolen. What's wrong with you? She was provoked, Shi Shang said casually. In this line of work, it's normal to feel stressed. I'll contact a psychiatrist for you. Chen Yuan was also worried that her artist had mental and psychological problems. Being an artist was far from being as glamorous as what the outside world thought. She was too immersed in her role and couldn't get out of it. She suffered from depression, overworked, and had a disordered lifestyle. Seeing that Chen Yuan was about to take out her phone to make a call, Shi Shang walked over and snatched it away from her. Sister Chen, I'm not sick. I didn't say that you are sick. I just want to talk to a psychiatrist to relieve your stress. Although Chen Yuan explained, she was convinced that her artist was really sick. People who were sick often didn't think that they were sick. Shi Shang tried his best to persuade her, but Chen Yuan finally gave up on the idea of taking her to a psychiatrist. I don't have any news about the news yet. I'll go back and ask who suppressed it. Have a good rest and don't go out for the next few days. Take care, Sister Chen. Oh yes, Sister Chen, don't invite me to dinner parties like last night. It's boring. Chen Yuan was speechless. Did she know how many investors were there last night? Chen Yuan took a deep breath and glared at her in exasperation. Do you think you can still go there in the future? She had hit Li Jie. Even if the news had been suppressed, Li Jie would not be so easily dismissed. All she did was cause trouble for him. Finally, he had sent away a big Buddha. However, just as he left, a call from Lon Qing came in. Baby, are you okay? I'm fine. She had hit him. What could happen to her? Lon Qing heaved a sigh of relief. That's good. What's wrong with Li Jie? Oh, he wanted to sleep with me with a stupid script. Shi Shang said honestly. What? Shi Shang heard the sound of something being knocked over from the other side of the phone, followed by Lan Qing's angry voice. How dare Li Jie sleep with my sister Lan Qing? Baby, don't worry, I won't let you suffer for nothing. Shi Shang was speechless. What do you mean by suffering? I'll call him back on the spot. Oh yes, baby. Do you know anyone from the Gu family? Lan Qing suddenly asked after scolding Li Jie. The Gu family? Gu Qi. Which Gu family? Lan Qing had been arranging people in the news agency. Her news was going to be published, but before Lan Qing could do it, it was stopped. The people who stopped her were the Gu family. Which other Gu family? Huanyu Corporation. Do you know anyone from the Gu family? I'm not sure. Is Gu Qi from the Gu family? According to the routine, that's most likely the case. Lan Qing seemed to be nervous and asked her not to get involved with the Gu family. Shi Shang said perfunctorily and hung up the phone. Shi Shang scratched his head and was confused. What's going on? She went to 606 to look for Gu Qi, but no one answered after knocking on the door for a long time. Gu Qi did not come back for the next few days. Shi Shang had to join the crew of the First Imperial Concubine. The filming location was at the local film studio. The director used to shoot literary films. He had never shot such a fast food TV series before. This TV series was his transition. Literary film directors were usually fussy. Shi Shang was asked to read all kinds of historical materials as soon as he joined the crew. From speech and behavior to basic necessities of life. Shi Shang was stunned by the thick stack of materials. Is he here for a film or a history lesson? Sister Lan, is the director doing this on purpose? Xiao Fu and Xiao Bao were speechless. It's not a historical drama, why is he so strict? It's all because I'm too handsome. Shi Shang touched his face narcissistically. He must be jealous of me. Sister Lan can't be so narcissistic. Shi Shang could explain how fussy the director was in one sentence. She wanted to terminate the contract immediately. If the costume was not right, he would complain. If the action was not right, he would complain. If the words were not right, he would complain. If the hairpin was not right, he would complain. If it was a historical drama, she would have nothing to say. After all, history was important. But this TV series was just a dummy. The background was just for show. I've told you before that unmarried girls in that era were not allowed to wear golden hairpins. You've all ignored my words. Director. Shi Shang interrupted the chattering director. The director was talking enthusiastically when he suddenly heard Shi Shang calling him. He frowned and stopped. You shouldn't change your career to a palace drama. You should teach history. Director. Shi Shang removed the messy hair on his head. The flowers of our country need you. I've already bloomed, so I won't serve you anymore. My assistant will talk to you about the liquidated damages. See you later. Chapter 488. Shi Shang went on strike and left Brother Liang and Sister Mei to deal with the breach of contract. She left the base with her 2 assistants. The news was soon released. Lan Shang quits the role of the First Imperial Concubine. The First Imperial Concubine starts shooting. The female lead quits. The inside story of the movie Queen quits. Chen Yuan just went to a meeting and found that the whole world had changed. She scrolled through Weibo with a pale face and read all kinds of speculations. Her artist is going to heaven. Chen Yuan called Shi Shang. When Shi Shang received the call, he was looking at the female lead. The crew of Proud Sun was also in this base. It was not a big base, so it was not strange for them to run into each other. The strange thing was that something bad would happen if they ran into the female lead. Here was what happened. The parking lot of the base was being expanded, so now they parked wherever they could find a spot. Wen Qiao's car happened to block an artist's own car, and the artist's car blocked Shi Shang's car. Shi Shang wanted to leave, so Wen Qiao's car had to move. But the artist in the middle did not speak well, so Wen Qiao refused to move and asked the artist to apologize. This artist was considered a famous C-list artist, so of course she was unhappy to be insulted by a newcomer who had not produced any works yet. The two parties started to quarrel. Shi Shang, the innocent cannon fodder, was the one who was implicated. Sister Chen. Shi Shang put the phone to his ear. Lan Shang, get your ass back to the company. Chen Yuan roared, now, right now, if I don't see you in an hour, you'll have to bear the consequences. Shi Shang moved the phone further away and waited until the person on the phone stopped yelling, Sister Chen, I definitely won't be able to get back to the company in an hour. Chen Yuan choked and then roared even louder, Lan Shang, don't talk nonsense, get your ass back here. Hey, Sister Chen, it's not that I don't want to get my ass back, but I can't get my ass back now. Someone blocked my car, and I don't have any superpower, so I can just let the car fly through the middle. Shi Shang was like a dead pig that wasn't afraid of boiling water. No matter how much Chen Yuan roared on the other side, she replied calmly. Xiao Bao, who was standing at the side, could hear the deafening roar from the phone. His face twitched. Sister Chen was so scary when she was angry, yet Sister Lan still dared to tease her. What's going on? Chen Yuan tried to suppress his anger. Who dares to stop your car? Aren't you going to tickle her? Sister Chen, how could you say something like that? I'm not that kind of person. I wouldn't do something like that. Scratching people was unsightly and degrading. You beat up an investor and refused to perform. What else can't you do? Chen Yuan panted heavily. I'm not going to argue with you. Come back here right now. Chen Yuan quickly hung up the phone, and the busy tone came from the phone. Shi Shang looked up at the sky. What was going on? What the hell? On the other side, Wen Qiao was still arguing with the C-list celebrity. Wen Qiao was not famous now, so she had nothing to lose. She wanted the C-list celebrity to apologize. Shi Shang shook his head. This Wen Qiao really doesn't want to be taken advantage of. Shi Shang opened the car door and got out. Xiao Bao, who was in the front passenger seat, immediately got out of the car. Sister Lan. The C-list celebrity greeted her respectfully. Sister Lan. Wen Qiao called out softly. Shi Shang smiled at the C-list celebrity. I asked you to move the car. Are you talking about buying a car? The C-list celebrity lowered his head and apologized. I'm sorry, Sister Lan. It's not that I don't want to move, but she doesn't want me to. She was rude first. I'll move the car if she apologizes. Wen Qiao frowned, straightened her back and slightly raised her chin. I don't care what you have. Move the car now. Shi Shang's tone suddenly became firm. Hearing Shi Shang's tone, the C-list celebrity smiled at Wen Qiao proudly. Move the car quickly. Can you afford to delay Sister Lan's time? Wen Qiao's face was a little pale. After hesitating for a moment, she still let the driver move the car. Shi Shang smiled at Wen Qiao and turned to get into the car. Wen Qiao held her bag tightly and watched Shi Shang's car drive away. Shi Shang's car was the best kind of car used by celebrities. It was much better than the car used by all the celebrities in her company. One day, I'll be in that position. I'll get back at all these people who once embarrassed me. Shi Shang returned to the company and was reprimanded by Chen Yuan. He was also ordered to stay at home and not go anywhere. The Public Relations Department started to deal with this matter. If this matter was not handled well, it would become a negative news. Hence, the Public Relations Department was very nervous. Shi Shang didn't care about how they handled it. He went home slowly. She lived in room 808. When she reached the 6th floor, she paused and got off the elevator. The door of room 606 was open. Shi Shang was slightly surprised. He saw a person coming out of the room. Shi Shang had never seen him before. He was dressed sloppily and his hair was dyed messy. At first glance, he knew he was not a decent person. He was stunned when he saw Shi Shang. Then, he bypassed him and left. What's going on? What kind of weirdos are around Gu Qi? Hey! Goddess, why are you standing at the door? Lin Nan came out to close the door. He was surprised and excited when he saw Shishang. Come in, come in. Shishang didn't stand on ceremony and stepped into the door directly. The house was obviously redecorated. It looked brand new. Lin Nan didn't let Shishang change his shoes. He led him inside, poured water and took fruits and snacks. Shishang looked around but didn't see Gu Qi. Where's Gu Qi? Lin Nan pointed to the room. Boss is taking a shower. Taking a shower in broad daylight? Boss just woke up. Lin Nan was helpless. If I didn't come, he would probably sleep for a whole day. Hey, goddess, what's your relationship with boss? Lin Nan was curious. It was definitely unrealistic to ask Gu Qi. He wouldn't tell him anything. He had no idea when Gu Qi got to know his goddess. Yet, the two of them acted like they were very close. This doesn't make sense. He spent most of his time with Gu Qi. He didn't know. Nothing. Nothing at the moment. Gotcha. Gu Qi's figure appeared at the door. His hair was still dripping water. His hair stuck to his cheeks and the water droplets dripped into his clothes. His eyes were cold. There was no smile on his face. His whole body emitted a sense of alienation that kept people away. He didn't seem to be surprised to see Shishang. His gaze paused on her for a few seconds and moved away naturally. He went straight into the kitchen. When he came out, he had a bottle of milk in his hand. Gotcha. The glass bottle of milk collided with the glass coffee table, making a crisp sound. He stood in front of Shishang. He lowered his eyelashes slightly and said with a bit of bitterness, "It's all natural." Shishang raised her head and looked at him. Gu Qi and she looked at each other. At that glance, Shishang felt like she was looking into a starry universe. Mysterious, deep, and boundless. Chapter 489. Gu Qi took the lead to look away, turned around and sat at the side. He took the towel from Lin Nan and slowly dried his hair. His movements were very slow, as if someone had pressed the slow motion button. Shishang really did not understand what Gu Qi was up to. He took a sip from the bottle. The milk taste was much stronger than the others. "Boss, there's a meeting tonight. Do you want to go?" Lin Nan took the opportunity to answer a call and asked Gu Qi after he was almost done. Gu Qi looked at Shishang. Lin Nan immediately understood. "Goddess, there's a car race tonight. Do you want to go?" The goddess did not go the last time, but this time she must go. "Oh, sure." Shishang responded. She couldn't understand Gu Qi at all. Lin Nan was obviously very happy, chatting with the person on the other side of the phone. Only Gu Qi and Shishang were left in the living room. For the first time, Shishang found himself speechless. Gu Qi put down the towel and looked at the milk that Shishang only drank a sip. He frowned slightly. "Doesn't taste good?" "It's okay, I don't like milk." She did not like milk very much. She remembered there was a dimension where Feng Ci especially liked to drink milk. He even forced her to drink it. If she did not want to drink, he would feed her with his mouth. Gu Qi was silent, and asked after a while, "What do you like to drink?" "Coffee, alcohol, anything is fine." She actually did not like anything in particular. Gu Qi breathed very lightly and said slowly, "It's not good for girls to drink." Shishang was speechless. "I always feel that Gu Qi is flirting with me. Is it an illusion?" Gu Qi did not speak anymore. He sat there and played with his tablet. His whole body sank into the sofa and curled into a ball. A big man curled into a ball. It was especially cute. "What are you playing?" Shishang felt that if he did not speak, Gu Qi would not speak. Gu Qi looked up slightly. The background music of the character's death was playing on the tablet. He frowned slightly and waved at her. Shishang got up and walked to him. He moved to the side and made space for Shishang. "Sit." Shishang sat down without any psychological pressure. Gu Qi seemed to be satisfied. He turned his head and moved the tablet in front of Shishang. This mobile game was called Killing World. It was the most popular mobile game recently. The character level was now updated to 100. Sure was only level 95, but Gu's level. Gu Qi's character's name, he probably did not spend any money. Shi Shang looked at Gu Qi's game silently. So, I'm here to accompany him? What's going on? Shi Shang took out her phone to check. There were a few messages, 2 of which were from Liang Ji, telling her that the termination contract had been signed. The others they zes Gu Qi's. He's Guz's. Gu's Qi Gu, he's, Gu, he's, s, zay. He put down the tablet, got up, and walked to his room. Shi Shang was speechless. What's wrong with him? Lin Zai Nan had gone out to order takeout and came back with bags of food. Goddess, I'm sorry about that. Boss doesn't like to eat out, so he usually buys it back. Lin Zai Nan explained to Shi Shang while opening the boxes. I don't know what my goddess likes to eat, so I just bought some. I hope you like it. Lin Zai Nan cupped his heart and looked at Shi Shang pitifully. I don't particularly dislike it. Shi Shang took the chopsticks from Lin Zai Nan. Where's boss? Lin Zai Nan just remembered his boss. Shi Shang pointed to the room. Lin Zai Nan knocked on the door, but there was no response. Lin Zai Nan stood at the door for more than a minute. Then the door was opened. Boss, let's eat. Gu Qi frowned. He saw Shi Shang sitting in the dining room, hesitated for a moment, then walked over. Lin Zai Nan, like a butler, pulled out the stool for him and set the table. After he sat down, Shi Shang moved closer to him and asked in a small voice, Do you usually serve him like this too? Yeah. Lin Zai Nan nodded. What's your relationship with him? Why do you serve him like this? Gu Qi looked like he came from a rich family. At his age, he should be proud and arrogant. How could he serve Gu Qi like this? Boss, give me money. Shi Shang was speechless. I'm surprised by your answer. She thought Lin Zai Nan would say something about brotherly love, but it turned out to be measured by money. Lin Zai Nan laughed. I grew up with boss. Goddess, I'll tell you about this later. Lin Zai Nan couldn't say anything as Gu Qi was sitting opposite him. Gu Qi was eating quietly. He didn't seem to notice Shi Shang and Lin Zai Nan's actions. He ate slowly, but he ate very little, and he was picky. However, Lin Zai Nan had an expression that said, Boss ate so much today, is it going to rain gold? Gu Qi went into the room after he finished eating. Lin Zai Nan complained to Shi Shang while cleaning up, Boss used to only eat half a bowl, I even suspected that he became a demon. Shi Shang decided to check up on Gu Qi when he got back. What a weirdo. At night, Shi Shang was brought to the top of a mountain. A group of people occupied the parking lot at the top of the mountain. The roar of motorcycles was endless. Some of them were the gangsters she saw for the first time, and some of them were the ones she saw at the club last time. The girl named Yi Jingyi was also there. She wore a sexy miniskirt and leaned on a modified motorbike. Her eyes lit up when she saw Lin Zai Nan. But when she saw Shi Shang and Lin Zai Nan getting off the car, her expression immediately became twisted. She ran over in her high heels and questioned loudly, Brother Zai Nan, why did you bring her here again? Lin Zai Nan obviously didn't like Yi Jingyi. When he faced her, his expression was especially cold. Boss invited the goddess here. Yi Jingyi, watch your words. If you make boss unhappy, you'll bear the consequences. Yi Jingyi was obviously afraid of Gu Qi. Her face with heavy makeup didn't change much under the flickering light, but there was an obvious trace of fear in her eyes. She glanced at the car behind Shi Shang, bit her lips, snorted heavily, and returned to her previous position in her high heels. The surrounding discussions were blown away by the mountain wind. A few words like Master Gu, Movie Queen, and relationship could be vaguely heard. Goddess, don't be calculative with this little girl. She's not sensible. Lin Zai Nan apologized to Shi Shang. Shi Shang didn't say anything. Gu Qi got off the car slowly at this moment. He was wearing a black hoodie, black pants, and black sneakers as usual. He almost blended into the night. When the gangsters opposite saw Gu Chi coming down, they immediately stopped their discussion and stood properly, as if they were underlings waiting to be inspected. The other playboys stood casually, but they also stopped talking and looked at Gu Chi. Gu Chi tilted his head and looked at Shi Shang. Suddenly, he reached out and held her hand. Gu Chi's fingertips were cold, like a piece of ice on her wrist. He didn't use much strength and was testing her carefully. When he saw that Shi Shang didn't struggle, he held her hand. Shi Shang looked at him strangely and let Gu Chi lead her to a chair not far away. Chapter 490. Master Gu really likes Lan Shang? That goes without saying. Have you ever seen Master Gu so close to a woman? Not to mention taking the initiative to hold her hand. Hey, that Qian Feng's woman last time. Sure. Do you want to die? That woman threw herself at him. Yi Jing-yi listened to the discussion behind her. Her face was wrinkled, and she stared at Shi Shang angrily. What's so good about this woman? Brother Zai Nan calls her a goddess, and even Master Gu is so protective of her. Little Yi. A girl beside her patted her. Are you still angry? Yi Jing-yi scratched her fingernails, her eyes were red, and said angrily, Why? She's just an actress. Little Yi. The girl sighed. It's hard to say when it comes to love. It can't be helped that Master Lin doesn't like her. Moreover, Master Lin doesn't seem to like Lan Shang that much. Since Lan Shang and Master Gu are close, Master Lin wouldn't dare to have any thoughts about Lan Shang. She understood this, but Yi Jing-yi didn't. Perhaps she understood, but she didn't want to admit it. Vroom vroom vroom. A roar was heard from the mountain road. More than 10 modified motorcycles rushed up at high speed. The flashing lights created a dazzling light. The group of people circled around Gu Chi's group a few times, and stopped at the opposite side. They were clearly in different camps. They wore the same uniform, looking a bit like professional racers. Their motorcycles were also different from Gu Chi's. Apart from the different colors, they were obviously of the same brand and model. The people on the other side whistled loudly. One of them got out of the car and strode over to them. Lin Zai Nan had already walked over. The two of them talked for a while, then the man walked back. Lin Zai Nan picked 4 people and asked them to get on the car. The bet will be as agreed before. Be careful. These rich second generations always had bets when they raced. The people opposite them were not professional racers, they were just a few rich second generations. They were not from Gu Chi's circle, they just dressed up for the sake of looking good. They had a conflict before, and the solution was to race. The literal meaning of racing at the slightest disagreement was very clear. The rules were simple. Both sides would send 4 people to start from the top of the mountain and come up from the bottom of the mountain. Whoever arrived first would win. Gu Chi didn't seem to be interested in this. He lowered his head and stared at the ground. Boss. Lin Zai Nan passed a tablet to Gu Chi. Gu Chi took it and passed it to the Shi Shang beside him. Shi Shang was speechless. Was this the time to play games? Live broadcast. Gu Chi uttered 2 words slowly. Shi Shang turned on the tablet. There were several scenes on it, all taken from the air. Shi Shang silently praised this group of rich second-generation heirs. This was quite a fun game. It was even being broadcasted live. Shi Shang didn't like car racing. She preferred swordsmanship. It was more in line with her style to use her sword at the slightest disagreement. The cars in the video chased each other, and some even rammed into the cars despite the danger. Fortunately, there was no danger in the end. They reached the top of the mountain safely, and the winner was the other side. After the cheers, there were curses. The man from before raised his hand to signal for them to quiet down. He walked towards Gu Chi. The man was at least 1.8 meters tall. All the light was blocked by him. When he stood in front of Gu Chi, the man glanced at Shi Shang casually. He didn't seem to be interested in who she was at all. He looked down at Gu Chi condescendingly. Gu Chi, let's have a match. Feng Xian, are you looking for trouble? Lin Nan came from behind and stared at Fong Zian with a bad look. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Fong Zian exercised his fist and laughed frivolously. Suddenly, he swung his fist and hit Lin Nan's face. Lin Nan staggered after being hit. The people behind him immediately cursed and started to fight with each other. "I'm talking to Gu Qi, why are you interrupting? Since you've chosen to be Gu Qi's dog, you should do what a dog should do," Fong Zian said crudely. His tone was full of disdain towards Lin Nan. "Fong Zian, what the hell are you talking about?" Lin Nan wanted to punch Fong Zian, but was stopped by Gu Qi. Shang felt wind blowing past her ears. Her vision turned dark as something covered her head. Shang wanted to pull it down, but was held down by someone. "Don't look, it'll be over in a while." "TSK. Gu Qi, you've learned how to be gentle with women? This woman is Lan Shang from the entertainment industry, right? I didn't expect you to like this kind of woman." Fong Zian's voice stopped abruptly. Shang could only hear the sound of fists hitting the body, as well as a muffled groan from the pain. It didn't last long, only about 5 to 6 minutes. All the noise disappeared at the same time. It was as if she suddenly entered an empty space. Shang lifted the thing that covered her and looked in front of her, but it was dark in front of her. She looked up and saw Gu Qi standing in front of her. Gu Qi turned around and bent down slightly to look at Shang. "I'll send you back." Shang stared at him for a few seconds. The villain this time is awesome. Shang only saw what happened to those people when she got into the car. Almost all of them were lying on the ground. The car window rolled up slowly. Shang saw the man named Fong Zian looking at her with a gloomy expression. Yes, he was looking at her. Not at Gu Qi. Shang felt that she was going to be implicated. It was quiet on the way back. Gu Qi sent Shang all the way to the door. "Good night." Gu Qi rubbed Shang's head. "Call me if you need anything." He seemed to have thought of something. He took out his phone and pressed a few buttons on the interface. Shang's phone immediately rang happily. Shang took out her phone and saw an unfamiliar number. She looked up at Gu Qi. "Why do you have my phone number?" She didn't seem to have told him before. Gu Qi didn't say anything. He just looked at her. The light of the passage floated in his eyes, but there was only her figure in his pupils. Just when Shang thought he wouldn't answer, he said slowly, "I can know if I want to know." Shang was a little confused. Domineering CEO style? Oh my god, isn't this the female lead standard? Have I leveled up now? Even the title of Domineering CEO is given. Shang went in with a confused look. Gu Qi turned around and left after she closed the door. Back downstairs, Gu Qi turned off his phone habitually. But he frowned and turned it on again in the next second. The phone battery was too low. He looked for the charger in the living room but couldn't find it. Gu Qi opened the phone book. There were 2 phone numbers in it. One of them was Lin Nan and the other was Lan Shang. The only contact was Lan Shang. Gu Qi called Lin Nan to ask where the charger was. Lin Nan thought he had picked up the wrong number. He looked at the phone several times to confirm that it was his boss. Gu Qi never did this kind of thing. Lin Nan was always the one who charged the phone. How could he not be surprised to receive a call from Gu Qi asking where the charger was? * Please vote. It's Monday. A new week has begun. Please vote T to the power of T. Chapter 491. After the movie queen refused to act, there was news of her hanging out with a group of gangsters in the middle of the night. Then, all kinds of negative news came one after another. Hashtag movie queen and gangsters in the middle of the night. Hashtag Lan Shang by Chi. Hashtag Lan Shang and a mysterious man in and out of a hotel, suspected of being a mistress. Hashtag Lan Shang theater changed the movie without permission to suppress newcomers. Hashtag every one of them was a hot search. Lan Shang's name was like a virus that swept across the internet. Shang clicked on the news with interest. The picture of her in the middle of the night was very blurry. She was afraid to take it when she got out of the car and took a picture of some gangsters beside her. The picture of her with the mysterious man in and out of the hotel was of her and Lon Ching going to Yi Hong restaurant for dinner and entering the hotel when they were filming in D-City. Lon Ching's face was pixelated. She was the only one in the picture. Because she was holding Lon Ching's arm and the angle of the picture, it looked very ambiguous. She changed the movie without permission when she was filming Proud Sunday. As for bullying newcomers, it was Wen Qiao. She admitted that she changed the movie without permission to annoy the scriptwriter. But bullying newcomers, Shi Shang logged into Weibo and posted a few posts in a row. Lon Shang, Lon Ching, Your Highness, when will I be promoted to Crown Princess? Lon Shang, is it my fault for acting so good? The scriptwriter is willing to let me change the movie. If you don't like it, please look for the scriptwriter. Shi Shang didn't reply. As soon as the 2 Weibo posts were posted, they were immediately flooded with comments. White. Front row. Stupid idiot. Who is the person mentioned by the goddess? His surname is Lon too? Lon Shang is an idiot. Lon Shang you be *tch, you're disgusting. The truth is me, looking at the person mentioned by the goddess, he is the CEO of Yu Teng Group. Seems like I found out a big secret. Thin blue mushroom. I saw it. So handsome. The CEO's surname is Lon too. Is he a relative of the goddess? So handsome, he must be her brother. Even if he isn't her brother, he must be her cousin. If not, he must be her cousin. Lon Shang goddess love you. Goddess supports you. Boss is a ghost. All kinds of comments instantly. Those who saw Lon Ching's page combined the names and faces of the 2, as well as the clothes of the mysterious man in the picture, immediately posted a long post to analyze their identities. The first to respond to Shi Shang was Lon Ching. Lon Ching, v Lon Shen, v, Your Royal Highness, why don't you directly become a queen? I will help Your Royal Highness clear the obstacles. With this reply, the netizens immediately blew up. Was there even a need to say it? The Crown Prince and the Princess were definitely siblings. Not only were the fans in an uproar, even the entertainment industry was in an uproar. Some people guessed that Lon Shang had a backer, but they never thought that it was the Yu Teng Group. She was not a mistress. She was the young mistress of Yu Teng Group. What's the point of being an actress instead of being a rich missy? This piece of news was easily broken, and the anti-fans moved on to the other 2 pieces of news. The news about the car race was quickly taken down. The platform that published the news issued a statement saying that the news was fake. They had published it without checking and were very sorry about it. However, it was revealed that Lon Shang was the eldest daughter of Yu Teng. The sudden removal of the news seemed suspicious, and the netizens began to dig deeper. Needless to say, they actually managed to dig it out. At that time, there were so many people present. There were bound to be some who were excited to see the celebrity and secretly took photos. When they received a call from Lin Zhe-nan asking them to remove the news, it was already too late. They had already taken those photos out to show off last night. They did not know how many times it had been shared. In the end, it was spread to the public. In this way, no doubt the news that was removed was true. A public figure racing in the middle of the night. This kind of news had a bad influence on the artist. Shi Shang browsed the web and looked at the people's conversations. It was quite interesting. These people's imagination was simply invincible. It had been almost 4 hours since the incident started, but Chen Yuan had not called. Shi Shang looked at his phone suspiciously. Wasn't Chen Yuan the first person to call when something happened? Bang bang bang. Someone suddenly knocked on the door with a hand. Shi Shang went to open the door. Chen Yuan was standing outside with a dark face. When she saw her, her face became even darker. She did not call, but came directly to the house. Lan Sheng. Chen Yuan squeezed her name out from between her teeth. Sister Chen. Shi Shang let Chen Yuan in with an open face. You're capable now? The incident about the performance boycott has not been settled yet, and you've created so much trouble for me? Lan Sheng, what are you trying to do? Are you still going to walk down this path? It's not my fault. Shi Shang said innocently. She was not the one who had posted these things. Chen Yuan took a deep breath and tried to suppress her anger. Shang, I've made an appointment with you. I'll go with you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. You don't have to worry about the news. The company will handle it. Shi Shang, I'm not sick. As her manager, Chen Yuan naturally knew that Lan Qing was her artist's brother. Other than the late-night racing incident, there were no other problems. The scriptwriter of Proud Son was A.I. Weici. He was famous for being picky. If he agreed to change the script, he must have approved of the changes. Suppressing a newcomer would be more difficult if the newcomer was a little famous. However, the newcomer was just a newcomer. She would not care about it for a few days. However, her artist had created so much trouble in such a short period of time. Her personality had also become so strange. Chen Yuan could not help but suspect that her artist was sick. If she really had some kind of mental illness, her artist's life would be ruined. You're not allowed to interfere in this matter anymore. Do you hear me? Chen Yuan reminded her again and again. Okay. She could interfere even if she did not want to. Wait for me to pick you up tomorrow. Chen Yuan thought for a while. Forget it. I'll sleep here tonight. Shi Shang was chased into the room by Chen Yuan. She started to make calls in the living room. Shi Shang looked at the ceiling speechlessly. She really was not sick. Shi Shang received a call from Lan Qing. Lan Qing told her not to worry and that he would help her deal with it. Lan Qing had called her once before. She guessed that he would call her again when he was free. Thank you, brother. Shi Shang thanked him. Oh, you've learned how to be polite. That's rare. Lan Qing joked. His tone was very relaxed. Your Highness, you should continue with your work. Lan Qing said gently. Okay. Don't look at the news online. Wait for me to deal with it for you. Okay. It's so good to have a brother. After hanging up, Lan Qing's phone vibrated again. Shi Shang looked at the name on the screen. He raised his eyebrows and swiped the answer button. The phone was very quiet. After a long while, a clear voice sounded from the other end. I'm outside your house. Chen Yuan. I want to change artists. Shi Shang, what's wrong with me? Isn't it good to be in the headlines every day? Chen Yuan, I just want you to be a quiet goddess. Little fairy, I can be a psycho, but not a goddess. Shi Shang, drawing sword, do you still want the votes or not? Little fairy. Yes, goddess, I was wrong. Chapter 492. What? Outside the door. Shi Shang was dumbfounded. This guy doesn't play by the rules. I better find a way to confirm if he's Feng Ci. Shi Shang asked him to wait for a while and went out of the door. Chen Yuan used the living room as a temporary office space. Seeing Shi Shang coming out, her eyes were like X-ray. What are you doing out here? My friend is outside. Shi Shang pointed at the door. Chen Yuan frowned slightly. She had been her manager for so many years, but she didn't seem to have any good friends. At this time, could it be a man? God. My artiste is in a relationship? While Chen Yuan was thinking, Shi Shang had already opened the door. Gu Qi stood outside quietly. He didn't move even when the door was opened. After a few seconds, he slowly raised his head and passed the box to Shi Shang. I just bought it. Shi Shang recognized the box. It was from the restaurant where Lin Zainan bought it last time. Come in first. Shi Shang stepped aside. Gu Qi took a look inside and saw a woman staring at him. He knew this woman, Lan Shang's manager. Gu Qi nodded slightly at Chen Yuan, entered the room and closed the door. His movements were smooth and natural, as if he had done it countless times. Chen Yuan's heart collapsed at the moment. Can someone tell me who this man is? What did my artiste do behind my back? Shen Shang, come here. Chen Yuan waved at Shi Sheng. Shi Sheng put the lunchbox on the table, poured a glass of water for Gu Qi and asked him to sit down. Then, he walked to Chen Yuan. Sister Chen. Chen Yuan pulled her to the corner. Who is that man? Is he someone you like? Or someone you like? No matter who it is, how can you let him come to your house? What if the reporters take photos? You haven't solved the news yet. Chen Yuan rattled out a bunch of questions. Shi Sheng had a headache. It's troublesome to meet a responsible manager. She sighed. Sister Chen, do you know Huanyu Corporation? Chen Yuan didn't understand why Shi Sheng changed the topic to Huanyu Corporation, but she still nodded. Multinational corporation, who doesn't know? Don't change the topic. You haven't answered my question. Who is he? What does it have to do with you? His name is Gu Qi, the youngest young master of Huanyu Corporation, Shi Sheng said slowly. What youngest young master? You. Chen Yuan's voice came to an abrupt stop. Then, he suddenly raised his voice. Huanyu Corporation. Chen Yuan covered his mouth and looked to the side in shock. She was very loud just now, but Gu Qi didn't move at all. This was the young master of the Gu family? The entertainment industry was closely related to the rich and powerful. Everyone in the entertainment industry had heard of how much the Gu family treasured this young master. Chen Yuan swallowed with difficulty. Shenshen, where did you find such a powerful backer? Being chosen by the young master of the Gu family was like getting a golden ticket to avoid death. Downstairs? He lives in room 606. The young master of the Gu family lives in this apartment? Chen Yuan felt that she must not have woken up today. This kind of rich man who can spend millions of dollars in minutes actually lives in this kind of place? Of course, it's not that this apartment is bad. A unit here costs 4 to 5 million. But it's totally incomparable to those that cost millions of dollars. You go over first. Chen Yuan held onto the wall. No, she had to calm down. She couldn't digest this news. Sure enough, people don't have a good appetite when they get older. Shi Sheng looked at Chen Yuan sympathetically. The identity of the villain was naturally high and mighty. Otherwise, how could she challenge the male and female protagonists and get slapped in the face? Shi Sheng walked over, pulled out the chair at the dining table and sat beside Gu Qi. How did you know I didn't eat? There were too many reporters waiting for her. She didn't dare to go out. The security downstairs had to work overtime at the last minute. The takeout she ordered was blocked at the door. Gu Qi didn't answer. He opened the lunchbox and took out the food one by one. 3 dishes and a soup, 2 meat dishes and 1 vegetable dish. The aroma suddenly filled the entire room. Shi Sheng noticed that these dishes were the ones she ate a few mouthfuls of the other day. Shi Sheng felt that he was being flirted with. Compared to Feng Ci, it was even better. The bottom layer was rice. It was served in a delicate bowl with 2 matching bowls and chopsticks beside it. Gu Qi scooped a bowl of soup for Shi Sheng and pushed it in front of her. Drink the soup to warm your stomach first. Shi Sheng was indeed hungry. She ate an apple just now, but the more she ate, the hungrier she got. Have you eaten? Shi Sheng didn't hold back and drank a few mouthfuls of the soup. No. Gu Qi waited for her to finish the soup before answering. Shi Sheng scooped the rice from the bowl she used to drink the soup, then scooped another bowl for Gu Qi. Then let's eat together. I can't finish so much anyway. After a pause, Shi Sheng turned to look at Chen Yuan, who was still digesting her food by the wall. Sister Chen, have you eaten? Yes, you can eat with Master Gu. Chen Yuan bought some food on the way here. Although she wanted to eat after smelling the aroma, she didn't dare to go over because the young master of the Gu family was sitting there. Chen Yuan packed her things and sneaked into the study room. She had to calm down. Gu Qi seemed to be satisfied with Chen Yuan's behavior. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly, but it was so short that Shi Sheng didn't see it at all. Gu Qi ate without saying a word. The whole process was so quiet that it was like a solemn ceremony. He put down the bowl before Shi Sheng, waited for Shi Sheng to finish the food, then put the food into the box one by one. Feng Ci didn't talk much, he used his actions most of the time. Therefore, Shishang didn't feel awkward and watched Gu Qi pack up. He was very serious when he was doing things. His gaze never wavered. Gu Qi. Gu Qi put everything into the box, then turned to look at her. What's wrong? Shishang leaned on the table and looked up at him with a smile. Do you like me? Gu Qi's long eyelashes fluttered slightly, brushing a small fan-shaped shadow on his fair skin. His gaze met with Shishang's without any avoidance. Like. His eyes flashed with some doubts. What is like? Shishang was speechless. What kind of joke is this? If you don't like me, why are you flirting with me? No, Feng Ci actually doesn't like I. Host, you haven't confirmed if this is Feng Ci. Based on your personality, how can it be wrong? Which one of the previous hidden missions wasn't Feng Ci? She now suspected that the few worlds before and after Feng Ci were all Feng Ci's. Master, it's time for us to level up. The host has already figured out your tricks. Asterisk System Master. It's useless to level up. If you level up, she can also level up. It's tiring to meet such a player. Let me be alone. Shishang. I like what you said. System. I don't like what you said at all. The host is so awesome. I don't have any status at all. System Master. Thanks for your hard work, comrade. Hashtag today's Taro flavored ticket hashtag. Chapter 493. Then why are you so nice to me? Shishang asked in another way. Gu Qi fixed his eyes on her. Shishang's head was aching. He pushed the things on the table aside and sat down. I don't know, I just want to be nice to you. Gu Qi was still confused. He used to pay attention to Lan Shang, but at that time, he didn't have the feelings he had now. He wanted to give her the best things in the world. At that time, he only thought that the woman on the screen was beautiful when she smiled, as if she could add some color to his boring life. But that was it. Is this what it means to like someone? Is it liking someone because he wants to be nice to her? He understood that he was different when he was young. His family was very happy. Well, that was the word they used to describe it. But he couldn't feel the happiness they mentioned, and couldn't understand their feelings. His world seemed to be gray and ruined, and would collapse at any time. Yes. Shishang nodded with a smile. Gu Qi looked at her blankly. He took a step back and took the box on the table in a panic. Have a good rest. I'll help you with other things. Looking at Gu Qi's escaping figure, Shishang was speechless. She wouldn't eat him up. Gu Qi said he would help her. The next day, the crew released a statement that the racing photos were stills. Chen Yuan also received a call from the crew, asking Shishang to act as the second female lead. She was a rich young lady who liked to race for thrills. The role was very likable, and it could cover the news. Chen Yuan agreed immediately and brought Shishang to sign the contract on the same day. Shishang was very obedient throughout the whole process. Just when she thought she could escape, Chen Yuan drove the car to the so-called psychology clinic. Sister Chen, I'm really not sick. Shishang grabbed the seat belt, unwilling to get off the car. Shang, I didn't say you're sick, we're just relieving some stress. Look at you, you're so tired from work. Chen Yuan persuaded kindly. No. Shishang shook her head. I'm not sick, why do I need to see a psychologist? Chen Yuan refused to give up. Shang, let's go up for a cup of tea and chat. Did he fall sick while chatting? I'm not going. I'm not sick. Chen Yuan got out of the car and tried to pull the Shishang out of the car. However, the Shishang did not budge at all, as if it was born on the driver's seat. Chen Yuan, her artist was seriously ill. Sister Chen, what if I enter this place and get photographed by the reporters? Look, I'm on the headlines every day now. Do you want me to be on the headlines blah blah blah? Shishang rambled on for nearly 10 minutes. In the end, Chen Yuan gave up on bringing Shishang in. Bang! Chen Yuan closed the door and went around the front of the car. Shishang heaved a heavy sigh of relief. Finally, he managed to fool her. The car started slowly and left the parking lot. Just as the car was about to leave the parking lot, Shishang saw a familiar figure slowly entering the building that Chen Yuan had just pointed out. "Stop the car, Sister Chen." Shishang reached out and shook Chen Yuan's arm. "What's wrong?" She was so startled that it scared him to death. "I think there's something wrong with me. I want to go and have a look," Shishang blurted out. Chen Yuan. Sure enough, she was seriously ill. "Give me your name card, I'll go up myself," Shishang said to Chen Yuan while disguising herself. "I'll go with you," Chen Yuan was worried. Shishang glared at her. "Then I'm not going." Chen Yuan had no choice but to give her name card. Shishang took the name card and got out of the car, running towards the building hurriedly. She vaguely heard Chen Yuan shouting something behind her, but she walked too fast to hear clearly. There was a clear sign in the elevator. The psychological consultation was on the 18th floor. However, Shishang was not here to see a psychologist, so she found a seat in the lobby and sat down. The people in the lobby saw Shishang's tight dressing and looked at her curiously. Gu Qi came out of the elevator not long after, but he was followed by a middle-aged man. Shishang did not dare to follow them. Shishang only went out slowly after the two disappeared at the door. She followed them but found nothing. When she reached the door, the middle-aged man happened to come back. Shishang rolled her eyes and followed the middle-aged man into the elevator. The middle-aged man was talking on the phone and did not notice Shishang. He went down from the 18th floor. Shishang heard someone calling him Dr. Wei. The 18th floor was the psychological consultation company. Dr. Wei. Shishang looked at the name card in her hand. It was Dr. Wei. After talking with Gu Qi that day, she felt that there was something wrong with Gu Qi, but she did not expect it to be a psychological problem. Shishang went downstairs with a heavy heart. She saw Gu Qi standing outside the building as soon as she walked out. "Shishang, didn't he leave?" Gu Qi put his hands in his pockets and looked at her quietly. The light reflected from the ear stud on his ear was dazzling to Shishang's eyes. She was slightly distracted, but Gu Qi was already standing in front of her. He held her hand naturally and walked towards the parking lot. Shishang was confused until she got into the car. She felt that this world was poisonous. "Are you following me?" Gu Qi sat in the driver's seat, his slender fingers on the steering wheel, tilting his head and looking at Shishang. "No." Shishang shook her head. She just happened to see it. Gu Qi was silent for a moment. Suddenly, he leaned sideways and Shishang leaned back subconsciously. Gu Qi glanced at her. Shishang held her breath. Why did she feel that he was going to kill her? Gu Qi looked at her and helped her fasten her seatbelt. "Go home. Or do you want to go somewhere else?" "Go home." Gu Qi did not speak during the journey. He drove quietly until they entered the parking lot of the apartment. Gu Qi's voice sounded slowly. "If you want to follow me in the future, give me a call." Shishang. Gu Qi stopped the car and turned off the engine. The car was silent. Shishang did not know how long had passed. She heard Gu Qi's voice beside her ear. "I can take you anywhere." The translation of this sentence was, "I have no secrets from you." Shishang felt her heart beating a little fast and she was a little out of breath. She was flirted with again and again. She suddenly leaned over and kissed Gu Qi when he was unprepared. There was a kind of resonance from the soul, throbbing. Although it was very weak, she could feel that the person beside her was Feng Ci. Gu Qi looked at her blankly. It was as if there were gorgeous fireworks exploding in his mind. His body stiffened and he didn't move an inch until Shishang let go of him happily. "You." Gu Qi's ears were a little hot. "What's wrong?" Shishang was the kind of person who would take advantage of others. Gu Qi moved his lower lip. Her breath and warmth seemed to be left on it. Gu Qi was silent for a while. He helped Shishang to unfasten her seatbelt, opened the car door and got off. He went to her side and opened the car door for her. He sent Shishang to the door. His ears were still red. "What do you want to eat?" "I'll buy it for you." No need. It's too troublesome to go out to buy now. Let's order takeout. Do you want to come in? Gu Qi hesitated. Shi Shang stood at the door and waited for him to make a decision. Finally, Gu Qi nodded and entered the door. He wanted to spend more time with her. Just him and her. Even if they did nothing, just being in the same space, he felt good. Chapter 494. The movie that Shi Shang accepted was called Dimension Dream Guy. It was more sci-fi. In fact, it was a romance in sci-fi skin. The male lead was an intergalactic police officer. When he was chasing a fugitive, he had a fight with the fugitive. Both of them fell into a backward world. The male lead was injured and had insufficient energy. He was saved by the female lead. Both of them had a bond. The second female lead was the female lead's friend. She was the kind of best friend. If you have something to say, I'll do it for you. If I can't do it, I'll find someone else to do it for you. When Shi Shang arrived at the set, the movie had already started shooting. There was already a second female lead. Gu Qi used some method to replace her. Shi Shang liked this character very much. She was acting cool all the time. She was the female lead's portable cheat. However, during the shooting of the racing scenes, Shi Shang had a few NGs. Later on, he got the feeling and it was over quickly. The filming of the movie was not long. It only took 2 months from start to finish. When Shi Shang left the set, the news about her had already calmed down. Ever since Gu Qi helped Shi Shang to suppress the news, Lan Qing had been calling her every day to interrogate her about her relationship with the Gu family. He helped a few times in a row. Even his Yu Teng group was specially taken care of by Huan Yu group. Although it brought him a lot of convenience, as a siscon, Lan Qing was very worried. What kind of place was the Gu family? How could his sister provoke them? I'm at Yi Hong House. Come over quickly. Lan Qing said and hung up the phone. It was obvious that he would not let Shi Shang go if he did not get an answer today. Shi Shang had a headache. He turned the car around and sent a message to Gu Qi. She did not contact Gu Qi much in the past 2 months. She only sent him messages occasionally. Since the strange feeling that day, she was 100% sure that he was Feng Ci. In fact, she wished she could harass Gu Qi every day. However, she did not have much time for filming and it was very tiring. Today was the end of filming. However, Gu Qi called her and said he wanted to take her out for dinner. As soon as Shi Shang sent the message, Gu Qi's call came. Where are we eating? Gu Qi's voice was low, probably because of the phone call. Yi Hong House. Yes. After that, there was no response from the other side of the phone. Gu Qi did not hang up the phone either. Shi Shang occasionally heard a rustling sound from the other side of the phone. Shi Shang listened for a long time before he suddenly asked, Are you coming? Yes. Gu Qi placed the phone beside his ear. I want to see you. Shi Shang. The girl's heart was about to explode. Then I'll wait for you outside. Shi Shang took a deep breath. I'll hang up first. Drive carefully. All right. She was closer to Yi Hong House than Gu Qi, but she was stuck in a traffic jam. She said she would wait for him, but in the end, it became Gu Qi waiting for her. Shi Shang looked at Gu Qi, who was still wearing thin clothes, standing alone outside Yi Hong House. He suddenly felt sorry for him. The weather was only 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, and he was still standing outside wearing so little. Shi Shang parked the car and rushed over. There's a traffic jam. Did you wait long? Why don't you go in and wait? Gu Qi reached out to help her tighten her scarf and said slowly, It's okay. Shi Shang could even feel the coldness on his hand. It's so cold, yet he's okay. Shi Shang held his hand and put it in her pocket. Let's go, it's freezing outside. Gu Qi didn't care if this posture was weird or not. He let her put his hand in her pocket naturally. His fingers that were stiff from the cold slowly warmed up. They were stained with her body temperature and her scent. As soon as they entered Yi Hong House, The heater was full and it warmed up instantly. However, Shishang didn't let go of Gu Qi. Lan Qing booked a room on the third floor. While waiting for the elevator, Shishang tilted his head and glanced at Gu Qi. Why are you wearing so little? Wear more next time. He didn't like to wear too much, but since she said it was too little, he would wear more. Ding! The elevator door opened slowly. A group of men in suits stood in the elevator and came face to face with Shishang. The leading man wore a dark blue suit, which was obviously different from the group of men in black suits behind him. He was tall and slender, with one hand in his pocket. His expression was aloof and cold, and his eyes were deep. He seemed to be surrounded by a cold aura, which made people stay away. Su Mu Yuan, proud son, should be wrapping up soon. The male lead, Su Mu Yuan, is here. Gu Qi only glanced at the people inside without any emotions. The two of them blocked the elevator door and didn't intend to move aside. Su Mu Yuan frowned, and the people beside him reminded him immediately. Sir, miss, please move aside. The man who looked like Su Mu Yuan's assistant frowned and said. They were standing too close to each other, and the two of them were blocking the elevator door. Although there was space at the side, it was impossible to let the CEO go out in such an ugly posture. Shishang forgot about it when he saw the male lead. Gu Qi. Probably it was always others who made way for him, but he never made way for others. So after the assistant finished speaking, he brought Shishang directly into the elevator. He reached out his hand to press the button to close the door, and then pressed 3. You. The assistant's face changed slightly. Su Mu Yuan reached out his hand to stop the assistant. Shishang looked at Su Mu Yuan thoughtfully. He should have just returned to China, right? The elevator reached the third floor quickly. After Gu Qi and Shishang went down, the assistant said, Mr. Su, that person was so rude just now, why did you stop me? The elevator door closed slowly, isolating the two figures outside. Su Mu Yuan pulled the corner of his mouth, showing a cold smile on his face. He is Gu Qi. Gu Qi? Which Gu Qi? Mr. Su. Are you talking about the young master from Huanyu Corporation? The assistant reacted and asked in surprise. Su Mu Yuan didn't comment. I heard that Gu Qi is ignorant and incompetent. He hangs out with street gangsters all day long. The assistant began to spread Gu Qi's information. If it wasn't for Huanyu Corporation, Gu Qi would have died many times. He's so arrogant. Does he really think that the Gu family can cover the sky with one hand? Su Mu Yuan glanced at the assistant. The assistant was frightened by Su Mu Yuan's gaze and didn't dare to continue. Fortunately, the elevator arrived at this time. Su Mu Yuan took the lead to go out. Before the assistant could breathe a sigh of relief, he heard a scream outside. The assistant hurriedly walked out of the elevator. There was nothing strange, just a woman standing in front of the CEO. She looked decent, but a little immature. Sorry. Wen Chao nodded slightly at Su Mu Yuan. She straightened her back and bypassed him to enter the elevator before Su Mu Yuan could say anything. Su Mu Yuan acted as if nothing happened and left the hall. The assistant touched his head inexplicably. What happened just now? Wen Chao entered the elevator. Her straight back was slightly bent. Her face was a little pale, as if she had gone through a big battle. She was reborn, so she naturally knew Su Mu Yuan. He would be the entertainment tycoon in the future. She didn't expect to meet him here, and she even bumped into him. If she hadn't practiced her acting skills for the past few months, she probably wouldn't have dared to raise her head in front of him. Chapter 495. Lan Qing was dumbfounded when he saw his baby sister walking in with a man. Who is this man? Who is he? When did he hook up with my baby sister? Lan Qing came back to his senses and rushed forward to pull them apart, shielding Shishang behind him. He smiled politely and extended his hand to Gu Qi. Hello, I'm Lan Qing, Lan Shang's brother. Gu Qi tilted his head and looked at Shishang in confusion. After a few seconds, he retracted his gaze and held Lan Qing's hand slowly. Gu Qi, Lan Sheng's boyfriend. Shi Shang continued from behind. Gu Qi's eyelashes fluttered. Yes. Lan Qing turned around and stared at Shi Shang. She actually has a boyfriend behind my back. I can't live like this anymore. I took so much effort to raise my sister, but she ran into another man's arms when I'm not paying attention. Just thinking about it makes me unhappy. Lan Qing looked at Gu Qi with an unfriendly gaze. He let go of his hand and pulled Shi Shang and Gu Qi apart. Shi Shang looked innocent. This is my Feng Ci. I can't wait to bring him home and worship him. Lan Qing took a deep breath, but before he could exhale, he suddenly paused. What did this man say his name was? Gu Qi. Gu Qi from Huanyu Corporation? Lan Qing stared at Gu Qi and asked word by word. Gu Qi nodded slowly. The earrings on his ears flickered with his movements. Lan Qing's expression changed. He dragged Shi Shang out. Excuse me, Mr. Gu, I have something to say to Shi Shang. Gu Qi pursed his lips and looked at Shi Shang being dragged out by Lan Qing. He blinked a few times, confused. Brother, what are you doing? Lan Qing dragged Shi Shang forward. Shi Shang had no choice but to speak. Lan Qing stopped when they reached an empty corner. He pressed her shoulders with both hands and pushed her against the wall. Shi Shang only realized how bad Lan Qing's expression was from the front. Lan Qing gave her the impression that he was a nice brother. She had never seen him like this. Lan Qing took a deep breath slowly. Baby, he's Gu Qi, I know. Gu Qi. Lan Qing gritted his teeth. The most precious young master in the Gu family. Baby, we can't afford to touch him. But I like him. He was Feng Ci. No matter how precious he was, she would only make him more precious. Do you really like him? Lan Qing frowned. Shi Shang nodded. He liked it very much. The Gu family is too complicated, baby, you. What's the consequence of falling in love with Gu Qi? She would be subjected to a full investigation by the Gu family. From her birth until now, everything would be investigated thoroughly. There would be no secrets to speak of. This was a very frightening thing. It was as if she had been stripped naked and presented naked in front of the Gu family. Baby, can't we change to someone else? If it was someone else from the Gu family, he could still accept it. Gu Qi really couldn't do it. Bro, do you think you're buying cabbage? If she didn't like it, she could always change it. Lan Qing couldn't help but raise his voice. How long have you known him? Are you sure you like him? Baby, you have to think clearly. After that, Lan Qing's face revealed a trace of guilt. He apologized gently. I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean to yell at you. I just want you to think clearly. I've thought clearly, brother. What I want and what I don't want, I've always known. Shi Shang held Lan Qing's hand with a serious look. Brother, I want Gu Qi, I want him. I won't regret it. Lan Qing stared at her quietly. His eyes were a little red. His hand that was holding her shoulder exerted force secretly. Shi Shang held back and didn't say anything. This man really cared about his sister, Lan Shang. When Lan Shang wanted to marry the man who could be her father in order to save Yu Teng Group, it was the first time Lan Shang saw Lan Qing so angry. However, Lan Shang still did it behind Lan Qing's back. During that time, Lan Qing hoped that Lan Shang would change her mind. He was even willing to exchange the whole group for her. However, Lan Shang's wish was for him to be well. She didn't have love, but she couldn't lose her family. Lan Qing sighed and pulled Shi Shang into his arms. I won't let you suffer. Let's go, don't let them wait for too long. Thank you, brother. Lan Qing rubbed Shi Shang's head. His eyes were full of love. He hugged her shoulder and walked back. When they returned to the private room, Gu Qi was still standing there. Brother, have a seat. Shi Shang pulled the chair for Lan Qing. Lan Qing didn't stand on ceremony and sat down directly. Gu Qi took the lead and pulled the chair for Shi Shang. He waited for her to sit down before he sat down. Lan Qing glanced at him. Gu Qi nodded slightly and passed the tablet to Shi Sheng. Shi Sheng casually made a few orders and passed it to Lan Qing. Mr. Gu, you're not ordering? Lan Qing held the tablet in his hand after ordering. He didn't intend to pass it to Gu Qi. I'll follow her. Lan Qing secretly gave him the middle finger. You're so good at pleasing my baby sister. Scheming. No, I have to check carefully, in case my baby gets cheated. During the meal, Lan Qing occasionally chatted with Gu Qi. Their attitude wasn't close, but it wasn't distant either. He didn't deliberately ask about anything, but he didn't leave out any questions. No wonder he's on the negotiation table. After the meal, Lan Qing had a rough understanding of Gu Qi. He didn't care if he was suitable for his baby sister. With his identity, he cared a lot about it. He originally wanted to force his baby sister to have an affair with someone in the Gu family, but he didn't expect it to be so complicated. His precious little sister had even been abducted. His heart ached when he thought about it. The baby he raised for so many years. If he knew, he wouldn't have come for the meal. He was so angry. When Lan Qing paid the bill, he realized it was settled. He was even more depressed. Fine. I can't even spend money on my baby now. Baby, I'll give you a ride. Lan Qing felt that he needed to make his presence known in front of his baby sister, so that he wouldn't fall out of favor. I drove. Shi Sheng pointed at his car. It's okay, I'll get someone to drive it back for you. Take my car. Lan Qing pushed Shi Sheng into his car. Mr. Gu, please go back by yourself. Brother. Shi Sheng leaned on the window. He wanted to say that Gu Qi lived in the same apartment as him, but Lan Qing stared at him with a gloomy face. That stare seemed to say that if Shi Sheng dared to ask Gu Qi to get in the car, he would immediately stop her from interacting with Gu Qi. Shi Sheng kept silent. Call me when you reach home. Gu Qi spoke first. Mr. Lan, be careful on the road. Lan Qing rarely showed a serious face. He nodded reservedly at Gu Qi, but he was complaining in his heart. Does he need me to remind him? His baby sister is sitting in the car. How can he be careless? Shi Sheng's face suddenly turned gloomy. Gu Qi looked at her and felt slightly relieved. Lan Qing slammed the car door shut and drove away. On the way, he nagged Shi Sheng for a long time, saying that this was not allowed, that was not allowed. Shi Sheng didn't plan to tell Lan Qing that Gu Qi lived downstairs. If she said that, Lan Qing would immediately pack up and bring her home. Chapter 496. Before Shi Sheng could say a word to Gu Qi, Chen Yuan's consecutive calls arrived. Shen Sheng, you're on the headlines every day. Have you ever considered my feelings? Chen Yuan didn't roar, but her voice sounded weak. Shi Sheng was confused. What's wrong? Isn't it good to be on the headlines every day? Other celebrities would risk their lives just to be on the headlines. Wait, I didn't do anything recently. Why am I on the headlines again? Haven't you checked Weibo? Chen Yuan asked when she didn't hear Shi Sheng's reply. Shi Sheng turned on his computer and logged into Weibo. Shi Sheng took a quick glance. It's another scandal. It's about her and Lan Qing again. It was probably taken when she was talking to Lan Qing in the corner. However, the angle of the photo was weird. From the angle of the photo, they seemed to be kissing. Sister Chen. Done. Chen Yuan was very noisy. Tell me what's going on? She was almost immune to this kind of thing now. That's my brother. He was talking to me about the angle of the photo. Okay, I got it. Where did you guys eat? Yi Hong House. Chen Yuan hung up the phone and let the public relations department handle it. Shi Sheng curiously looked at the person who posted the Weibo. It was a reporter who was quite famous. However, no matter what kind of reporters they were, they would not be able to enter a place like Yi Hong House. So it was highly possible that the photo wasn't taken by him. Then who was it? Lan Qing immediately released a statement, asking the reporter to delete the Weibo post and apologize to Shi Sheng. Chen Yuan was also very fast. Almost immediately after Lan Qing released the statement, She posted the surveillance photos of the two of them walking out of Yihong House. Fortunately, Lan Qing purposely separated Gu Qi, so Gu Qi didn't appear on the screen. The anti-fans didn't have time to organize an army and the incident came to an end just like that. However, Lan Qing gained a lot of fans. Lan Qing also won the title of China's best brother. Proud Son officially ended filming. Shi Shang was invited to attend the banquet. The male and female protagonists were going to meet at the banquet. Shi Shang excitedly went to watch the adultery. Sister Lan, thank you for taking care of me before. Wen Chao came over with a glass of wine to toast Shi Shang. He emphasized the word, take care, a little. Shi Shang raised his glass and said, You're welcome. It's because I didn't take care of you. Wen Chao froze for a moment. How am I supposed to answer this? Fortunately, someone came to propose a toast to Shi Shang, saving Wen Chao from the awkward situation. After that, all kinds of people toasted each other and flattered each other. In the end, everyone was a little drunk. Similar to the plot, Wen Chao was forced to drink a lot and was carried away in a daze. The director and others saw it, but no one stepped forward to say anything. Shi Shang left first. Her cheeks were a little hot. She fanned herself with her hand, and then Shi Shang walked towards the elevator. Ding! The elevator door opened. As soon as Shi Shang stepped in, a voice suddenly sounded behind him. Miss Lan, wait a moment. Shi Shang turned his head and saw the assistant beside Su Mu Yuan. She retracted her foot and saw the assistant trotting over. Hello, Miss Lan. President Su wants to see you. The assistant's attitude was much better than last time, but his eyes were looking at her impolitely. See me? What does the male lead want to do? Shouldn't the male lead be making babies with the female lead at this time? It won't take too much of your time. Shi Shang rolled his eyes and nodded slightly. The assistant immediately led the way and brought Shi Shang to a private room. The private room was big and there were many people inside. When Shi Shang went in, the whole room became quiet. Su Mu Yuan wasn't in the room. The assistant led Shi Shang to a compartment in the private room. After Shi Shang went in, the people in the private room started to talk. The compartment wasn't small. Su Mu Yuan sat on the leather sofa, his suit was thrown aside, and his shirt was unbuttoned casually. Miss Lan, please have a seat. Shi Shang didn't stand on ceremony and sat directly opposite him. One who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. If you have something to say, just say it. Su Mu Yuan pulled the corner of his mouth and smiled fleetingly. Miss Lan is really an interesting person. Shi Shang looked at him coldly. Miss Lan, are you interested in doing business with me? The assistant beside him immediately handed a document to Shi Shang. Shi Shang took it for a while. After reading the document, Shi Shang finally understood why Su Mu Yuan could do it in such a short period of time. He defeated Yu Teng Group and got it in his pocket. He actually bought so many shares of Yu Teng Group quietly. Except for the female lead, the male lead was ruthless to everyone else. What do you want me to do? Shi Shang closed the document calmly. These shares were in Su Mu Yuan's hands. He definitely wouldn't give them away. Now that he took this out, it proved that he had bigger ambitions. For example, Proud Son had finished filming and the promotion officially started. As the second female lead, Shi Shang naturally had to attend. As the female lead, Wen Chao was naturally there too. At the banquet that day, Su Mu Yuan left with her, so he definitely didn't have sex with the female lead. According to the female lead rule, she definitely didn't sleep with anyone. During the promotion, Wen Chao's attention was far less than Shi Shang's. As the female lead, Wen Chao's stills were released long ago. However, none of Shi Shang's stills were released. The officials were deliberately creating doubts. Miss Lan, what role did you play in Proud Son? A reporter patiently asked the same question that all the other reporters had asked but didn't get an answer. There were only a few people in the promotional photos of Proud Son. Not all of them were released. So until now, Nobody knew who played the roles except the crew. Shi Shang took over the reporter's microphone. The crowd suddenly quieted down. Does this mean that she's going to answer? Since you're so enthusiastic, I'll tell you. Just as Shi Shang spoke, her stills were released from the screen behind her. The handsome girl was wearing a black leather jacket, holding a steel pipe in her hand. Her head was slightly tilted. The sun shone through her back, and the black and white images strangely came alive. The angle of the shot was from below. The girl's valiant image, her domineering aura. The fans and reporters at the scene were all excited. The movie queen who had always played gentle roles was actually playing a rebellious girl. Moreover, it was a character that wasn't very likable. The promotion was unexpectedly good. Every time they went to a place, the officials would release a screenshot of Shi Shang's plot. Just those handsome stills were enough to attract Shi Shang's fans. There were also some fans who couldn't get used to it. However, they were still willing to accept such a handsome character. Shi Shang also had a new nickname because of this. Prince Charming. A bunch of soft and cute girls, under Shi Shang's Weibo, called him, "I want to give birth to monkeys with you, every day." Shi Shang imagined the scene and was suddenly overjoyed. Chapter 497. The promotion of Proud Son was in full swing. Shi Shang did not participate in the promotion after her character was exposed, so all she did was play games with Gu Qi every day. "Goddess, goddess, come here quickly," Lin Zhe Nan screamed in the living room. Gu Qi raised his head slowly and looked at her. Shi Shang heard the cracking sound again. Her eyebrows twitched. Shi Shang put down his phone and patted his head. Gu Qi blinked, lowered his head and continued to play games. Shi Shang went out. Lin Zhe Nan was holding a tablet. Seeing Shi Shang coming out, he shouted excitedly, "Goddess, someone is defaming you." Shi Shang was speechless. She took the tablet and glanced at it. She saw that the long post was made to hype up her popularity, but some words were ambiguous. "There are many defaming me. Don't panic, let them do it." Shi Shang returned the tablet to him. The original owner used to be gentle. Although she was not a slick person, she would not offend too many people. Ever since Shi Shang came over, she had inadvertently offended people by the dozen. "Goddess, you are so nice. If I was defamed like this, I would have torn them apart." Lin Zhe Nan looked at her with admiration. "Nice. Is there something wrong with this kid's brain? Is there something wrong with Gu Qi's health?" Shi Shang changed the topic. Lin Zhe Nan glanced at the bedroom. Shi Shang closed the door when he came out. "Boss's health is not good. His schedule is messy. When I'm not around, sometimes he stays up all night, sometimes he sleeps." Lin Zhe Nan. Lin Zhe Nan's voice stopped abruptly. Gu Qi stood quietly at the door. Lin Zhe Nan felt a sense of oppression. "Boss, I'll send you back." This sentence was said to Shi Shang. Shi Shang hesitated, got up slowly and went out with Gu Qi. Gu Qi came down quickly. Lin Zhe Nan sat on the sofa with a face full of fear. "Don't tell her." Gu Qi looked at Lin Zhe Nan. "Don't say a word." "Boss, I don't want her to worry," Gu Qi continued. The corner of Lin Zhe Nan's mouth twitched. "Your body's daily routine is just a mess. It's not a terminal illness. Why do you make it sound like you're going to die?" However, since Gu Qi had spoken, Lin Zhe Nan dared not say a word. This was the first time he saw his boss pampering someone so much. Gu Qi walked towards the bedroom. When he reached the door, he paused. "Yi Jing Yi, you handle it yourself, don't make me do it. I don't want Fong Zian to disturb her." The door slowly closed. Lin Zhe Nan sighed. Last time, regarding the goddess racing incident, the boss never asked about it. The subordinates also turned a deaf ear to it, thinking that he would not pursue the matter. However, Lin Zhe Nan knew that he was waiting for them to make their own decisions. Gu Qi reminded him now because he was giving him an ultimatum for his sake. "But Fong Zian, this person was a little troublesome to deal with. It was easy to use the Gu family's resources, but he didn't know to what extent Boss was going to go. Shi Shang was a little worried about Gu Qi's health. She called Lin Zai Nan when she went back. Lin Zai Nan didn't dare to say anything, so he told her to ask the boss herself. The more Shi Shang thought about it, the more she felt something was wrong. That night, she packed her things and moved into Gu Qi's house. Anyway, he was her man. Sleeping with her man was a matter of course. Gu Qi watched as Shi Shang moved his things into his room one by one. Why are all your clothes like this? Most of the clothes in Gu Qi's wardrobe were black with some weird patterns. You don't like it? Gu Qi frowned and asked her. Not really, you look good in anything. Black clothes suited Gu Qi very well. It was decadent and beautiful. He looked good in any way. Shi Shang moved his clothes to make a small space for her own clothes. Because they were close to each other, she only took 2 sets of casual clothes. If she took all of them, Gu Qi's wardrobe wouldn't be enough for her. When she was done, it was almost 9 o'clock. Lin Zai Nan came to deliver food. Seeing Shi Shang's attitude, he could only smile ambiguously at her before running off like a wisp of smoke. Gu Qi was picky. Lin Zai Nan bought things according to his preferences, but he could still pick out things that he didn't want to eat. Feng Xi's pickiness was really bad. After dinner, Gu Qi kept his things. Shi Shang had already taken a shower. She was in her pajamas and browsing the web with her laptop. Gu Qi glanced at her for a while and took his things into the bathroom. The bathroom mirror was foggy, but he could vaguely see the figure in the mirror. Gu Qi slowly reached out his hand to cover his heart. The steady and powerful heartbeat sounded clearly in his ears at this moment. It's great to not be alone in such a big house. Gu Qi took his time to finish his shower. Shi Shang had already changed her position and was lying on the bed. Her fingertips were swiping the screen occasionally. It was full of publicity for Proud Son. The publicity photos of her went viral. Shi Shang raised her head slightly when she heard Gu Qi opening the door. Gu Qi met Shi Shang's gaze. His body stiffened and he walked towards Shi Shang after a few seconds. Shi Shang got up from the bed and put her laptop aside. Shi Shang asked him, "Where's your hairdryer?" Gu Qi washed his hair. It was still wet. "It'll dry in a while." Gu Qi answered. Shi Shang guessed that he didn't have one. She wrapped herself in a coat and was about to go out with her keys. Gu Qi pulled her and asked anxiously, "Where are you going?" "I'll go upstairs to get you the hairdryer. You'll catch a cold easily." Shi Shang frowned. "It'll be down soon." Gu Qi hesitated for a few seconds and let go of his hand slowly. Shi Shang went upstairs to get her hairdryer and helped Gu Qi dry his hair. "Did you always dry your hair like this?" "I'm used to it." When he was alone, it didn't matter what he did. "You have a lot of bad habits," Shi Shang muttered. She unplugged the power and kept it in the cupboard at the side. She lifted the blanket and got on the bed. Gu Qi sat by the bed and looked at her. "Aren't you sleeping?" Shi Shang wanted to seduce Gu Qi, but she was worried about his health. She gave up after thinking about it. Gu Qi got up and said slowly, "I'll go to the guest room." "I'm not going to eat you up. Even if I do, I'll be the one at a disadvantage." A man was actually being unreasonable with her. Gu Qi's ears started to burn again. He stood for about a minute before climbing onto the bed. Shi Shang turned off the light and shrunk into his arms. She didn't do anything overboard. Gu Qi hugged her clumsily. He was afraid that she couldn't sleep well, so he didn't dare to move. There was a burning sensation in his body, but he quickly suppressed it. Gu Qi couldn't fall asleep for a long time. He looked at the person in his arms who seemed to have fallen asleep. He slowly rubbed against her and pulled the blanket to cover her back. He touched the phone on the bedside. The light from the screen reflected his face. As he was afraid of disturbing Shi Shang, he turned off all the volume of the phone and clicked on the game. It was difficult to operate with one hand, so Gu Qi gave up after playing for a while. He pressed the power-off button in boredom. The screen flickered. Shishang was indeed asleep before, but she was woken up by the light from Gu Qi's press. She raised her head in a daze. Gu Qi was staring at the ceiling with his eyes fixed on the ceiling. It was a little scary at first glance. Chapter 498. Gu Qi. Gu Qi rolled his eyes and looked at Shishang slowly. The phone's light was on. The girl's petite face was slightly flushed, and she looked as if she had just woken up. She looked up at him and the restlessness in Gu Qi's body began to surge again. "You can't sleep?" Shishang frowned and asked. The phone's light dimmed. Gu Qi put down the phone, shrunk under the blanket and hugged her. "I'm afraid you won't be here when I wake up tomorrow." Gu Qi rested his chin on Shishang's head and said in a low voice. Shishang's heart trembled. "I'll always be here." Shishang put her hand into Gu Qi's clothes. Gu Qi's body stiffened again and he pulled Shishang's hand. "Don't be impulsive." His voice was slightly hoarse. Sometimes a person would be afraid after being alone for a long time. He didn't want her to regret it in the future. Shishang didn't really want to do anything. She retracted her hand and stopped moving. Gu Qi was afraid of disturbing her again and dared not move. Shishang didn't sleep at all. Gu Qi couldn't sleep. Lin Nan said his schedule was messed up and his insomnia symptoms were normal. Gu Qi only fell asleep when it was almost morning. Shishang was also sleepy after being in a stalemate with him for the whole night. But she forced herself to get up and ordered breakfast. She only woke Gu Qi up when the breakfast was delivered. "Gu Qi, get up and eat something." Gu Qi was in a deep sleep. Shishang had a headache. How could he bear it like this? Shishang forced Gu Qi to get up. Gu Qi was very angry when he woke up, but when he saw the person in front of him, he held back his anger. But his face didn't look good. Shishang passed him a bowl of porridge. "Eat a little before you sleep." Gu Qi glanced at her and took it silently. He finished it in a few mouthfuls and went back to sleep. Gu Qi slept until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He took a shower when he woke up and woke up after the shower. The room was empty. No one was there. His heart suddenly felt empty. She wasn't here. Gu Qi looked at his phone. It was turned off because it wasn't charged last night. He found the charger and charged it. After turning on the phone and waiting for a while, a few messages came in. 2 of them belonged to Lin Nan. One was to tell him that Yi Jingyi and Feng Xian had already taken care of it. One was the arrangement of activities for the new year. It was a long list, but Gu Qi did not even look at it. There was only one message from Shishang. "There's an audition for a new drama. Lunch is on the table, and the alarm I set for you is probably useless. Remember to eat when you wake up." Gu Qi saw the cold dishes on the table. He took them to the microwave and heated them up silently. After eating half a bowl, he couldn't eat anymore. Shishang's audition had not started yet. She was sitting in the waiting area with 4 assistants beside her. It was a grand scene. Today's audition was for a TV series. The theme was a war-torn Republic of China drama adapted from a novel. Shishang came over because Wen Qiao was going to be the second female lead in the movie. In the plot, this role was still snatched from the original owner. The female lead's temperament was different from the original host's. On the contrary, the second female lead's temperament was gentle and refined, so the original host took on the role of the second female lead. In the end, as soon as the female lead stepped in, the cooked duck flew away. The female lead came to snatch the second female lead because she knew the second female lead was going to be popular in the movie. "Thank you." Wen Qiao bowed and left the audition room. Next, the staff member in the audition room called out to the person outside. A girl ran in quickly. Wen Qiao turned around and saw Shishang surrounded by the group of assistants. A hint of determination appeared in his eyes, as if he was determined to win. She came earlier than her this time, and the director was also very satisfied with her. Wen Qiao wanted to wait for Shishang's result, so she was not in a hurry to leave. From the time she went in to the Shershang's back, it was only 10 minutes. The staff followed her out and said to the others, "Well, today's audition is over, please go back." Wen Chao was surprised. "It's over? Is it settled? Miss Lan, we will redraft the specific contract. Can we inform your manager directly?" The staff spoke to Shershang respectfully. "Yes, sure." Shershang nodded. "Miss Lan, take care." The people in the waiting area all left, and Wen Chao became a little conspicuous. Shershang walked past her with his people, and Shershang gave her a meaningful smile. Wen Chao's heart was beating wildly. But soon, Wen Chao received a call from her manager, asking her to sign the contract. The role was still hers. After signing the contract, Wen Chao's heart was completely settled. "Excuse me, may I ask if Miss Lan Sheng will be acting in this movie?" Wen Chao asked carefully after signing the contract. The staff member smiled. "No, I won't." Wen Chao heaved a sigh of relief, but before she could calm down, she was shocked by the staff's words. "Miss Lan is the investor." Investor? The contract that Wen Chao thought was a treasure just now, but now she felt like a hot potato. There was no movie that didn't lack investors, and most of the crew would start filming as soon as they got a little investment. So some of the crew couldn't get any investment in the later stage, and had to stop halfway. Wen Chao didn't know how she left, but this life seemed to have changed a lot. In her previous life, Lan Shang's identity as the eldest daughter of the Lan family was not exposed, and nobody knew until her death. Her rebirth changed a lot of things. Wen Chao took a deep breath. No matter what, she had to climb to the top. When Shershang returned home, Gu Qi was still sleeping on the bed. Shershang sighed comfortably with the heater on in the house. Sure enough, the life of a scumbag who just sits around and waits for death was the most suitable for her. Shershang warmed up for a while, then slowly climbed onto the bed and reached out to touch Gu Qi's forehead. Probably because her hand was a little cold, Gu Qi didn't fall asleep. He woke up as soon as Shershang touched him. His dark pupils were gray. Until he saw Shershang clearly, there was a little more color in his eyes. "You're back." "Yes. Have you eaten?" Shershang put her hand into his blanket. "Yes." Gu Qi naturally held her hand, tilted his head, and a crisp sound was heard. Shershang frowned. "Let's go to the hospital tomorrow." Gu Qi's fingers tightened. "I'm fine." "I don't care if you're fine or not, we have to go tomorrow." Gu Qi pursed his lips and didn't say anything, which meant that he agreed. At night, Lin Zainan came over with snow all over his body. "It's snowing?" Shershang was surprised. Lin Zainan's face suddenly fell. "Goddess, are you and boss going to become cavemen soon?" "It didn't even snow when I came back in the afternoon." Shershang closed the door. "Warm up first, then come in later." Lin Zainan was suddenly touched. "It'll be troublesome if you bring the cold in." Lin Zainan was speechless. "Goddess doesn't care about me at all. I'm not happy." Sob, sob, sob. "Since boss had a goddess, he also ignored me. I feel like I'm going to fall out of favor." Lin Zainan. "Boss, please favor me." Gu Qi. "I'm only interested in her." Lin Zainan. "I'm going to the newspaper office." Chapter 499. Lin Zainan came over to ask about Gu Qi's Chinese New Year activities. A big family like the Gu family would have detailed arrangements of what to do on each day. Actually, Gu Qi had not been home for a few years, but Lin Zainan would send the list to Gu Qi every year. "Goddess, please persuade boss. He has not been home for the past few years. You know that it's the new year, and I definitely have to go home. He's always alone here. My heart aches just looking at him." The Gu family doesn't care? Didn't they say they loved the young master very much? Why don't they care? Lin Zainan scratched his head. If they could, they would not let him go. Even if they couldn't, they wouldn't dare to. Gu Qi did not go home, so the Gu family came to his place and caught Gu Qi the first year. In the second year, Gu Qi stayed outside alone for a night and was sick for half a month. The Gu family did not dare to mess around anymore. I might not be able to come over for a while. Goddess, please take care of boss. He had a cousin who was getting married this year, so he had to go home to help. Shi Sheng nodded. Lin Nan gave Shi Sheng a list of phone numbers. These are boss's favorite restaurants. There is also a phone number of the Gu family's old house. The restaurants outside will be closed during Chinese New Year. You can call the old house, they will prepare food and send it over. Lin Nan rattled off a long list of instructions and left in a hurry. Lin Nan took the time to come over today. It was only a week before Chinese New Year, so everyone was very busy. If not for the fact that Lin Nan and Gu Qi were not gay, she would have suspected that she walked into the wrong place. The next day, Shi Sheng woke Gu Qi up from his bed. Gu Qi had insomnia again last night, so he was sleepy now. Looking at his tired face, Shi Sheng could not bear it. Gu Qi's expression was not good. He probably wanted to throw a tantrum. Shi Sheng leaned forward and kissed his lips. To be honest, it was the second time they were so close to each other. Shi Sheng kissed him carefully. Gu Qi was a little stiff at first. Then he started to dodge. Why are you dodging? Shi Sheng stared at him angrily. Gu Qi kept silent for half a minute and said slowly, I didn't rinse my mouth, there's a smell. I don't even despise you. What do you despise? Come here. Gu Qi refused. He got out of bed and stayed in the bathroom for a while before coming out. He sat next to Shi Sheng and stared at her with wide eyes. Shi Sheng was so angry that he laughed. He pressed him on the bed and kissed him for more than 10 minutes. All right, are you willing to get up? Gu Qi felt uncomfortable from the kiss. He breathed heavily and nodded after a while. Shi Sheng stood up and rummaged through the wardrobe. The thickest sweater was the autumn one. There were no winter down jackets or cotton-padded coats. Shi Sheng looked back at Gu Qi, who was still lying on the bed. I really have to hand it to him. Shi Sheng rubbed the space between his eyebrows, tried to pick out thicker clothes for him, and took him out. When they passed by a shop, Shi Sheng went in and casually picked 2 pieces of clothing. Put it on first. Shi Sheng passed the clothes to Gu Qi. Gu Qi was like an obedient wife, wearing his clothes obediently. It was almost the Lunar New Year, but the hospital was getting more and more crowded. The Shi Sheng had to make an appointment in advance so that there would not be a queue. Shi Sheng requested for a full body checkup, so it was a little slow. It was almost noon when he finished the checkup. The report could only be received in the afternoon. Shi Sheng had to have lunch with him first, then return to the hospital. Who are you to him? The doctor asked Shi Sheng while flipping through the medical records. There were only Shi Sheng and the doctor in the ward. Gu Qi was waiting outside. Girlfriend. The doctor put down the medical records. His condition is not serious, but if he continues like this, it will be. He already has a spinal disease. He has been sitting and sleeping in an improper posture for many years. You see, this part of his is already deformed. It's not too late to correct it. Shi Sheng took the report and went out. Gu Qi was standing outside the door. When she went out, he immediately held her hand. I'm fine. Shi Sheng glanced at him. He's fine now, but he'll be dead in the future. The reason for his insomnia was that his schedule was messed up. He'll be fine after adjusting. After that, Shi Sheng started to insist Gu Qi to sleep early and wake up early. He even bought him a treadmill. Since he was unwilling to go outside, then he could just stay at home. Gu Qi obviously disliked all these. However, his dislike was nothing compared to the importance of Shi Sheng in his heart. He could only do as he was told. Chinese New Year's Eve. You're really not going home? Shi Sheng asked Gu Qi, who was curled up next to him. Sit properly. Gu Qi slowly put his feet down. No. My brother asked me to go back for lunch. Come with me. Gu Qi looked at him with his big eyes, as if asking if he could. My brother is the only one at home. There's no one else. Shi Shang thought he was afraid of the other members of the Lon family. Lon Qing lived alone. He didn't ask for a big villa, just an apartment with a better environment. The company was on holiday on the 29th. Lon Qing, who was obsessed with his sister, kept calling his sister to go home for Chinese New Year. He was afraid that she would be abducted by Gu Qi and wouldn't go home. So when Lon Qing saw Shi Shang bringing Gu Qi home, he refused. How could his little ancestor bring someone else's little ancestor back home? If the Gu family didn't see their gold ingot during Chinese New Year, wouldn't they turn a city upside down? Brother, why are you blocking the door? It's freezing outside. Let me in. Lon Qing reluctantly stepped aside. Gu Qi was a step behind. He passed a bag to Lon Qing. Happy Chinese New Year, brother. Lon Qing was speechless. What are you calling? Lon Qing took it reluctantly. His facial expression changed when he saw the logo on the bag. Compared to Gu Qi's gift, wasn't the gift he prepared too inferior? No, I have to change it. Lon Qing rushed into the study room in a hurry. He didn't care what his assistant was doing and called him to buy something. The assistant was full of resentment. But when he heard that his boss gave him a big red packet, he immediately came back to life and promised to complete the task. Lon Qing cooked at home. Although it was simple, it was full of the love of a brother to his sister. After the meal, Lon Qing sneaked out. When he came back, he had a box in his hand. Shi Shang pretended that he didn't see it. Lon Qing awkwardly passed the box to Gu Qi and gave him a big red packet. Gu Qi, I don't care who you are. But if you dare to bully my baby, I will make you pay the price even if it costs the whole Lon group. Gu Qi took it solemnly. I won't bully her. Buzz, buzz. Shi Shang's phone vibrated every once in a while. Most of the calls were from people in the circle. I'm going to take a call. Shi Shang took the phone and went into the study room, leaving the two men to negotiate. Hello. It was an unknown number. The voice was even stranger. It sounded cautious. Is this Miss Lon Shang? You are. I'm Gu Hao, Gu Qi's brother. I would like to talk to you. Miss Lon, are you free? You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.